End stream for the lols. Howdy, everyone. Before the questions come in, I'm going to get all of the stuff out of the way. If you're in need of my help whatsoever, go to my website. The links will be in the comment section in a bit. Check out the stuff there. Just done a video over on Joey's channel, so go check that out, Living from the End with Joey or Jay. And I've just posted a video for the members only. So if you're interested in watching that, join the membership. Now that that's out of the way for all of the people that are going to view the video post live stream, hi everyone else. Oh, sticky.
Why are you sticky?
There's someone there. All right, so Abonea says, haha, found it finally. Now I can be on time. What are you here? Because I don't know. Bossing Up Affirmation says, can you manifest the middle and the end at the same time? Like that, is that okay? I mean, you can obviously place your focus on both at the same time. However, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to work in conjunction with each other. So you might end up getting like some signs of the middle, but they're not going to lead you anywhere because they're like, for example, let's say you're going on a date. You can manifest that the date goes well and that maybe you might hook up or something. And then you also, aside from that, manifesting that you're going to be with that person, the date might go the way that you've been manifesting it, but that doesn't mean between the hookup and you're going to get the relationship in one fluid line. They will be separate sort of seeds, so to speak, which is why if you're going to do middle stuff, it's probably best to just do like general middle stuff about like how life's amazing, everything works out for you, all that kind of stuff, because trying to manifest like text in order to get them to go into something or dates in order to get them to go into something doesn't necessarily mean that they will. Abadea says, you heard me. I did indeed. Ashley West said, hello, everyone. Howdy, howdy, Ashley. Abadea put smiley face. And then, oh, we're on live chat. Yeah, we are on live chat. Abadea also said, Katie, hair bath today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculously hot here at the moment, so every time I get in, I just get straight in the shower because I am so freaking hot.
Yeah, it is too hot.
And yeah, my hair is wet.
Yes.
I'm getting really dark. Like really dark. I'm trying to grow out the colour, so it looks really strange when it's wet because it's like...
Crimson Music says, hey, hope you're both doing great. Hope you're doing great too. Howdy, howdy. I really like the song, by the way. I did check it out. I think I sent a reply. I can't remember, but good job. Definitely finish up the mix and then send it back when it's done. It would be interesting to see. Says, how do we recreate a person? So the first thing you're going to want to do is get an idea of what you would like that person to be. The second thing that you're going to want to do is not try to change the person that you're with. You're going to want to just simply see them the way that you wish them to be, and then things will happen in order to get you from point A to point B. So looking at, like, let's say if I was looking at Katie and then trying to change Katie is only accepting that Katie isn't the way that I want her to be. Instead, I will look at Katie as the version I already want her to be, and ignore the facts about her that I don't particularly like, the ones that I'm trying to change out, and continue to feed myself the information as if she already is that which I want her to be. You're not trying to change her. You're just trying to experience, or change him or her, whatever. You're just trying to experience a new version of them in your imagination, and then that will play out how it does. Abonea says, also, uni starts on 22nd, first year as an undergrad. Enjoy. Go have lots of fun. Tell me all about it when you're doing it, I suppose. Bossing Up Affirmation says, how do we get rid of opposing thoughts and how do we find those? I'm not 100% sure what you mean by how do we find opposing thoughts, because if you're having them, then you know where they are. If you could explain what you mean more about, like, from that sense. As for how do we get rid of thoughts, so the first thing is to not try to get rid of them. Again, if you're placing your focus on trying to remove something, your focus is going onto that thing. Therefore, you are placing energy towards it, which is going to create more of it. So the first thing is to not try to remove those thoughts. Second thing, when you notice that you're having negative thoughts, simply let them pass. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that you place on your thoughts. So when those thoughts come up, you can choose whether or not they are good thoughts, bad thoughts. Or sorry, you can choose whether or not you're going to identify them as good thoughts or bad thoughts. So don't give them power. Don't give them any meaning. Let them come up and let them go. When a thought does come up, if you're noticing that you're having a recurring thought about third party, for example, have a think about what it is that is making you think about the third party. So is it that you think that you're not enough for your specific person and that you're easily replaceable? If so, then start working on the self-concept side of you that feels replaceable and become irreplaceable in your own mind. And then the more irreplaceable you feel, the less that you'll have thoughts about you being replaced. So it's like the 3, I suppose, steps to doing it. Dev says, Matt, I'm getting recurring negative dreams about my SP being with their party, but I'm not triggered because I know she is mine, even though I see negative mental pics. I just affirm. Okay, so I suppose it's good that you're not letting them trigger you. That's obviously a good thing. I would probably stop. Again, obviously, you wanted to come tell me on the live stream and stuff, and that's fine. But I would try, if you can, to stop replaying those by telling people, by accepting them to exist as best you can. You choose the meaning of stuff. You choose the meaning of your dreams. You choose the meaning of your thoughts. You choose the meaning of your experiences. So you are choosing those meanings, those dreams to mean something enough for you to want to tell me, which is fine because obviously I'm happy you showed up and wanted to speak and stuff and give me something to talk about. But try not to just let them be something that you feel the need to convey. If it's something so minor and you're not being triggered by them, there's no point replaying them. If it was something that you were like, I can't fucking deal with this, can I have some help? By all means. But if it's something minor, there's just not really much point in sort of feeding into the negativity that they make you feel. Ashley West says, do you think you will ever create a course for manifesting? Funny you should say that. I've been actually considering a course, but everything that I do here is all my own experience and it's all basically off the top of the dome. So I don't know how to make a course. I don't know what would be in a course. I don't know what you guys would want in a course. But yeah, funny enough, I actually have been thinking about researching what kind of courses people generally do for online stuff and what I can do. So yes, I actually will do a manifestation course at some point. I just need to work out what the fuck that's going to look like, to be honest. Crimson Music says, thanks, I really appreciate that. Yeah, you did reply. Oh, good. I have a lot of emails to get through, so I forget who I've replied to sometimes. But absolutely, I definitely think you should finish it off, get it the way that you want it, and then take it somewhere, definitely. Abanea says, Katie also, is that a Samsung watch? If so, which version are you using? I'm using the first gen 42mm.
It is. I don't know if I'm being honest. It's quite old, so I imagine it's probably first or second or something. Because I've had it for like 4 years or something like that. But I lost it for absolutely ages, literally completely lost it, and then found it again.
And now I get told off if I take it off charge.
Which he does every single time. And you know how long they take to charge? So like you put them on, and after about 2 hours, they've charged like half or something like that. It's ridiculous. But yeah.
Priya says, I've recently met a guy. He is 2 years younger than me. He's my brother's friend. I have feelings for him. I want him to text me every day. How do I get that? Okay, so the first thing I want to say is texting your end result? If he texts you every day and it never went any further than that, is that your end result? If so, then just refer to yourself, well, whatever technique you enjoy, just go into a place where create scenes where he is texting every day. So if it's affirmations, you can say like, I'm so grateful specific person is texting me. Obviously, you probably replace specific person with their name, but I'm so grateful specific person is texting me, specific person and I have such constant communication, all those kind of things. However, if you want this to lead into something because you say you have feelings for him, I would advise going to the end result. So if you have feelings and you want it to turn into a relationship, then go to the end result of already being in the relationship and create scenes that imply that you are in that relationship and then feed into them then, feel into them then, and feel as though they are true for you and focus on the end result as though it is already here. Basically, the future, bring it to now, feel into it, dwell into it, enjoy it, the emotions, the feelings, the thinkings, whatever is involved, and just dwell in that place for a bit and continue to do that until it comes in, basically, or until you feel the need to not do it anymore. Olivia says, feeling a bit down, stuck in the house on a Saturday night, trying not to overthink about SP. So
what do you enjoy? Like, what do you enjoy doing?
Yeah,
because you should just do it. Just do what you enjoy doing.
Absolutely. Read a book, meditate, watch a TV show. I like reading books, kind of.
I like reading books, but I mean, it sort of becomes like, oh god, Karen reading that.
I suppose, yeah. I do end up finding myself checking how many pages left until I can stop. But yeah, you could read a book, you could meditate, you could do knitting, assuming you've already got the knitting stuff. You can watch something, you can create business ideas, you could enjoy this live stream, you could go back and comment something really funny on every single one of my videos to boost the algorithm. You could paint, you could draw. There's loads of things you can do. And nothing's to say that you don't have to think about your SP. Just make sure that you're thinking about them in a good way.
Like, when they get back, we can do this.
Yeah,
those kind of things.
So enjoy. And Anne says, hello, Matt and Katie. Hello.
Hello.
Matt Short says, how can I get rid of the old story? Okay, so there's loads of different ways that I like to talk about this. I sort of dabble bits in each video. So I'm going to go for a couple here. The first way, whether law of assumption does or doesn't exist, the old story will not benefit you. No matter what you do, the old story will not benefit you. So the first sort of thing to remember is that no matter what's going on, whether you're a believer in this or not, you don't need the old story. So just remind yourself of that and try to let it go. The second thing that you can do is anytime the old story comes to mind, don't give it power. Literally just take a couple of breaths and like center yourself, because like focusing on your breath in the moment brings you back to the present moment. There are no breaths in the future or past that you are experiencing now. So take a couple of deep breaths and then think of the new story and remind yourself of what the new story is. If the old story is coming to mind as in someone has said something that hurts your feelings and you're still replaying it, console yourself. Remind yourself that those things aren't true for you because of XYZ. And the more that you practice these things, the more that you practice centering yourself when you are thinking of the old story, the more that you practice reminding yourself of the new story or how the old story isn't true. And the more that you remind yourself that there is no need to hold on to it, and you discipline your mind in order to let go of it and simply say that, no, enough's enough. The more that you do this over time, the less you'll start to think about it. And if the story is like someone not being in your life, for example, picture them in your life. Replace the old story with the new one by just simply shifting from the place that you don't want to be over to the place where you do want to be. Missy B says, hi, Matt and Katie. Howdy, howdy.
Hi.
Monica Santos says, hi, guys. Hi, Monica. Is that Mr. says, it's been a little over 2 years since I've been with my person. She's been with a third party for the last 7 months. It just hurts because she seems to be happier than she was with me back then. That's your assumption. You don't know what anybody else is thinking and feeling. Just because they look happy doesn't mean that they are happy. So I wouldn't let that get you down. Second of all, if you're in a situation where you can see that they've been with the SP for the last 7 months, my assumption would be that you are putting yourself in situations that aren't desirable, i.e. you're either looking at their social media, you're hearing from friends how things are, or some sort of information. You didn't state what you're trying to do, whether you're trying to manifest them back or not. If you are, I would advise trying to remove anything that's going to show you undesirable situations so that you don't have to keep fighting them, so you don't have to avoid getting triggered or spiraling or anything like that. And a big factor, I would put this on you. Not put this on you, sorry. I would put your focus back on you. I would put your focus back on living your life. Continue to live in the end if you do want them. And if you don't want them, still live your life. Make changes. Continue to pursue other things. Build yourself up within your own mind. Build up how you see yourself. Build up how you see your situation and everything so that you don't care. Not in a sense of you have to like forget that they ever existed or anything, but when you can stop caring about the outcome of something, that is when you no longer have attachment to said something, which is then when not only is it a lot easier to manifest them in because there's no resistance, but it's a lot less painful. The journey is a lot nicer when you just don't care. It's like, obviously right now, I would love extra money so that I could pay off my debt, but I'm not hung up on it, which means I don't care about the debt because I know that it's going. It's like this relaxed kind of like it goes when it goes. Obviously, it would be great to have it to just gone now, but I don't care because the journey's fine. So try to get yourself to a point where you're not in a situation where it does hurt you because you're not firstly seeing the stuff. You've removed all the ways for you to see it from your 3D, basically. You've stopped checking social medias, you stopped doing all that things. And then build up yourself within your own mind so that you know that your value. So it's like, who gives a fuck what they're doing? Because you know that you're the shit. You're the bomb. You're the person that everybody wants to be with. And then they'll come crawling back. Says, how do we build self-concept affirmations when I do not know where I lack? Well, take a look at your life, basically. Because we have self-concepts regarding any situation. So you have self-concepts in love, money, career, friendships, all of that kind of stuff. You'll have self-concepts in everything. So look at them. Are you in your financial situation that you want to be in? Do you have, Do you have the money that you want? Do you have the kind of relationship you want? Do your friends and family treat you the way you want to be? How does your manager treat you? How do you treat yourself when you do something that you're not happy about? Like if you're a musician, for example, when you have a bad music session, do you berate yourself or do you go, it's all right, I know I'm good at this. This was just a bad session. Take a look into the key areas of your life and see what you would like to be better. Self-concept can always be improved. No matter how amazing you think you are, there's definitely areas where you can find that can be improved. So break it down into smaller chunks and then see, okay, so I'm earning good money. I'm happy with the money, but could I be earning more? If yes, why am I not earning more now? Oh, because I feel like I'm not qualified enough. There you go. Now you have a self-concept issue where you don't feel qualified enough or you don't feel like you're worthy of higher jobs. Break it down and stuff like that. Maribel says, I was manifesting my wife back. She left for someone else. She came back last month for a few days, said she wanted to work on things and left again. Do I just persist? It threw me to know that it threw me that she left again. Without knowing more about, oops, I jumped down. I hate when I do that. Oh God, I jumped really far. Sorry, it scrolls down like really far and it really annoys me. So there's a few things here that I can obviously say. A lot of the time when this happens, a lot of the time when people get their person back, they end up losing them again quite quickly. This isn't an uncommon thing, so you're not alone in this. But because, firstly, your self-concept might not be where you want it to be, so you might not feel worthy. So putting all of your attention on something to bring it in absolutely will work. But if you take your foot off the pedal once they come back and your self-concept kicks back in and it's not where it should be, it's not a great self-concept, often that will then get reflected out. Your subconscious mind will push out things to prove to you what your self-concept says about you. The second thing is people get people back and then they get attached. So it's like, oh, great, I've done all of this work. My person has come back. That's amazing. Then they get attached. They get desperate. They want it to work as fast as they can. They don't want to give this person breathing room just so that in case they end up changing their mind. Not saying that that is what you've done, but that is quite common. I've seen it quite a few times where people have been like, oh, my person come back. And then they left again. And I'm like, how did you act when they were back? Oh, I kept texting them because I thought like now that we're like talking again, it's all going to be great. I kept texting them. I kept chasing them. I kept like being the first to message, stuff like that. You put out like desperate, like negative sort of I need you energy. And your subconscious mind goes, oh, okay, so he's telling us or she's telling us that we need them. I'm going to push out situations where we need them. And what's the best way to need someone? When you don't have them. So those are two potential reasons why that might have happened to you. The way to fix it is obviously continue doing what you were doing to get them to come back like you did the first time, except for this time, work on self-concept on the side so you're not, that you're the prize. So when they come back saying, I want to work on things, it's because they've made the fuck up and that they want you and not that like this is just blind luck or whatever. And the other thing is to make sure that when they do come back, you kind of play it cool. You continue to live in the end. You know that this is going the way that you want it to be, and you don't have to be too attached to the outcome. Top FJS says, if you want your shit fast, create the assumption that you always manifest fast and easily, and you will expect your manifestations to come, and it will come fast as an assumption, as it's an assumption after all. Yeah, I mean, and it has no choice but to be true. The thing is I don't disagree that you should create assumptions about things coming fast, but the energy that you're putting on manifesting things to come fast, you could just be putting on getting your desire anyway, and it will come in as fast as it can. Because, and this is like, I don't know if this is like a quote unquote a paradox. It's something that I've been thinking about lately, but if you are occupying a state of your manifestations coming fast, that is being in the state of not having your manifestations. So hear me out. If you're reflecting of all of my stuff comes fast, all of this comes fast, blah, 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 blah. A lot of the time you only want it to come fast because you're in a state of lack, which means you're occupying a state of yourself that doesn't have this thing coming fast. So even though you're stating that your manifestations come fast, the place in which you are operating from comes from a place of lack. I don't know if that is exactly how it works. It's kind of just a sort of like little paradox I was thinking about earlier. It's actually very similar to what I said in my other video the other day about gratitude. If you're grateful for something, the only times gratitude ever really gets thrown around is usually when people are like, oh my God, I didn't know what I was going to do without this. Like people that expect stuff, like rich kids, for example, they receive money. They're not fucking grateful because it's just a God-given right to them. Gratitude comes from people that are not, more often than not, broke and then get random money and they're like, thank God, I'm so grateful this came in. Or like someone's like pet went missing and they're like, I'm so grateful you're back, all that kind of stuff. So in a weird way, if you like think about it, gratitude in itself could be narrowed down to the idea of this thing is outside of me. Just food for thought. I'm not saying, I definitely think you should get involved, like you should practice gratitude, but it's just food for thought. But yeah, like I do agree that you should occupy the state of having your desires as fast as possible, or they do come as fast as possible, but try not to get too hung up on making them as fast as possible, because that is you coming from the lack of, I don't get my things fast enough. And then you're occupying that state. So just be careful with that one. But I do agree that it is good to keep that kind of mindset of them being fast as possible.
If you if you were to sort of have the idea of everything that I want comes to me very quickly, is that the same sort of thing as I create things very fast and I manifest things very fast? Because if you're manifesting something, you don't have it, but everything that you...
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. So that...
So like all of the things that I want arrive very quickly. Everything that I need, I don't know. I was trying to reword it so that it avoided the sort of double negative thing, but...
Again, it's very interesting because in the statement itself, you're saying everything I want, which means you don't have it yet, and everything I need, which means you don't have it yet.
So everything I have has arrived massively fast.
Yeah, that could work.
Everything I already have
because you get
came to me very quickly.
Because you get what you are, not what you want. So by saying everything I want comes really fast, yes, in theory, you could say that that means that it will come fast because you're stating that everything I want, as in what I want right now, will come fast. But your subconscious mind doesn't have a concept of time, and you are in that statement saying that you want it, not that you have it. So hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from with this. It's mainly food for thought. I'm not saying yes or no, you shouldn't do that. It's just more ideas. I
feel like it can't harm you, though.
It won't harm you, I don't think.
I feel like saying, oh, I am very good at manifesting and everything I want comes very quickly.
Yeah.
It just gives you that like self-confident boost anyway. So I don't think that would cause any harm to your manifesting.
No, it probably wouldn't. But like I said at the beginning, you could just be using that energy to get the things that you want. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you could just kill two birds with one stone and just go straight to that, anything I want comes in straight away.
Test it. Where you guys test it and see tell us what your results are. Only use the affirmation and see if you get what it is that you want.
And you continuously think about your desires anyway.
A lot of the time people think as though they're out of reach though.
But like you're continuously thinking, oh, I really want a sandwich, or oh, I'm gonna go and get this, or like your brain is already doing all that thinking for you.
Yeah, test it.
So if you were just like, everything that I have has arrived so quickly and everything that I want will come in right now. Test it.
Give it a go. Let us know how it goes.
My life falls apart, I'll let you all know.
And then Roy says, well, it's Q&A and it's Q&A and like not a regular weekly live stream. So tell us something about like your childhood, if that's fine with you. Yeah, fine. What do you want to know?
You don't want to know.
Yeah, my childhood got quite dark actually. Let's try and keep it light and fluffy. So there was a time where, so my mum is bisexual, and at one point for about 3 or so years of our life, she was she dated a black lady, a lady called Iredale. I loved her. She was like amazing, and we used to play hide and seek in the dark. And my mum had me very young, so my mum had me at I think she had me at 16, fell pregnant at 15, had me at 16. So she had like a flat obviously given to her by government and all that, and we played hide and seek in the dark. And I remember walking, and I had a little hat on, and I was walking in this dark trying to find her, and because it's obviously dark and it's nighttime, I couldn't see shit. I remember taking my hat off in frustration. I threw it, and all you hear is this, and it's just cracked Iredale clean in the forehead with like the cap part of her hat, and all you hear is, "You fucking asshole," like in this proper like Caribbean accent, and I could not contain myself, and neither could my mum, who was in a different room, and it was just hilarious. So there you go. Mum was a lesbian, and I cracked someone in the head with a cap. My past is quite it's not a good past. There's not many good stories that I have from my past, so I'm more than happy to talk about it, but there's not a lot that I can say that's nice. Chitra Roy says, hello, good to see you here, Katie. howdy. No, it's not fucking good to see me though, apparently, is it? Hang on. Did I skip a bunch? Have I just gone back over? Or did that person... Oh no, they put the same comment twice. Okay, cool. Thought I had done something wrong. Ashley West says, a lot of people are trying to manifest SP. What are some ways to know if your SP is actually the one? Well, I believe that you decide who the one is. If you can create things, your assumptions, obviously just a second ago someone said, why not create the assumption that things happen fast? If you can literally create assumptions like that, and you can create assumptions that everything works out for you and so on and so forth, then you can create the assumption that the person that you're with is the one. You may not agree with everything that they have. They may not be the perfect match, but you can change your assumption to be that they are the one for you. If you feel they're the one, then they're the one for you. Which is why so many people want their specific person back, because a lot of the time they feel they are the one for them, and there's nothing to stop that. From a higher power deciding that this person is your one, that's up to you if you want to leave that up to something else other than yourself. I personally don't like the idea of there only being one. I believe that every single person out there has millions of people that are a good match for them. And I believe that you decide who your one is. Monica Santos says, what updates on me and my SP? I'm flying to where he lives so we can spend some days together. He told me that he won't be able to control himself and wants to have sex, but I think off. Did you say more? I think off Phil. Did you say more? Is there more to this story? Okay, so you said, I think of feel, and he said used because I still have feelings and want commitment. Meanwhile, he says that he doesn't have feelings anymore. I'm scared to miss the opportunity to restart our flame, but don't want to feel used and sad if things don't go my way and we don't get together. Okay, this is a very tricky one because I know what I want to advise, but I don't want you to... Basically, if it was me and I didn't want sex, or just sex, I wanted it to go somewhere, I'd tell him to fuck himself. Like, if you feeling used by going there, doing that, and then not getting what you want makes you feel used, you have given up your self-worth for his pleasure, which I do not agree with whatsoever. If it's going to make you feel negative to go and see him but not get things the way that you want, I personally wouldn't go, because that is the complete opposite to self-concept, self-love, self-care, because you're putting your own feelings, your own emotions, your own desires aside to please someone else.
Also, a bit of a red flag saying that he won't be able to control himself.
Yeah, you want to be careful.
Obviously, it might be him being flirty and stuff like that, but if somebody said to me, I can't control myself, don't put yourself in a situation where he can hurt you. If he cannot, literally cannot control himself, don't be alone with him. If you want to go and have a talk with him, see where things can go and see what happens from there, do that in a public place. But to me personally, him saying that he can't control himself, I mean, if it was in a flirty way, like, oh, I can't wait to see you, I don't think I'm going to be able to control myself, la la la, and like a sort of jokey, flirty way, that's different. But if he's genuinely like, we're going to do it, that's it. Don't put yourself alone with him in any way, because that to me sounds like a major red flag. And it might just be the way that you've worded the message. But personally, if you want to go see him, maybe meet some other friends. Do you have any other friends around there that you can sort of, I don't know, turn it into a sort of group thing, maybe get him alone, but in public, have a chat, see where things can go. But yeah, don't let yourself be used. Don't let yourself feel used. And if he is genuinely only in it for the sex right now, it might be worth doing some more sort of self-concept work, doing some more work before you see him, try and get the better version of him.
Yeah, because I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and just basically assume that, because I'm assuming you're a smart person, and if he said that, I'm hoping that it is just purely like a flirty way and
flirty jokes
and
stuff like.
But keep yourself safe. Don't put yourself in a situation that's going to make you feel less of yourself or make you feel like you're not being treated with your worth. And thirdly, if you're going there with the assumption that he's already said to you he doesn't want anything, and you're going there with the assumption that you're scared it's not going to work out the way that you want. When we get what we are, more than likely that's not going to go the way that you want it to, because you have the fear and you clearly are feeding into the fear quite a lot. I think this is definitely a personal like decision to make, but that is my opinion on it based on law of assumption stuff and my own sort of like being a guy and knowing what guys say. Tell him to go beat it real quick, and then if he has post nut clarity, then he'll give you a better answer. M says, I've been very tempted to block my SP because he's so disrespectful and doesn't take me seriously, but I also can't let go. Would blocking him ruin everything? I mean, everyone gets scared about the idea of blocking him. If he's being disrespectful, why would you want that version of him anyway?
All the women in this right now, just think about how much you are worth. Because the last two comments, one about being used, one about being disrespected. Just think about how much you are worth way more than disrespect and being used. And just really for a minute, I know I'm getting a bit like funny and I'm sorry, but for a minute, just sit there and genuinely think about how much you are worth. And men and they, thems, everyone, just think about how much you are worth. And if the person that you are putting all this effort into doesn't currently think about you as being that worth that much, then they will. Because I just don't think that lowering your standards, lowering your self-respect for these sort of situations is a good idea in any way. I just think that if you genuinely think about, because I know what it's like. You sit there and you're like, well, you know, maybe that's all I am worth. Maybe that is all I'm worth. Like just a shitty text, just a like, you know, you get that doubt. You start to think, oh, you know, I'm not the prettiest. I'm not this. I'm not that. Stop it. Like literally stop it. Start thinking like you always say, put yourself on this pedestal. Get the best possible version of your people before you let them take anything from you.
Absolutely. One of the affirmations that I give in a lot of the affirmations tapes, when people pay for the custom affirmations and stuff, is I am worth I deserve the best and will only accept the best. You are the operant power in your life. And yes, these people are showing up for you in a way that you've sort of created using obviously your assumptions, your self-concept, everything. But the whole point of knowing about this and being able to implement the law of assumption to work in your favor is to get the best you can get. You're asking me whether you should block him because he's disrespecting you, which means if I was to say no, you would more than likely keep him unblocked and let him disrespect you, which is not loving yourself. That's not putting yourself first. If another person makes you feel like shit, you should absolutely cut it off, at least for the time being. You can withdraw your energy and put it on you and work on the relationship in your imagination. But from a 3D standpoint, you should not be so scared to ruin things that you will accept disrespect. And this goes for everything, like every single person. I know that I've made people feel shit in the past and they've stuck it out because they didn't want to lose people, but I wish they had, because I'm like, people don't deserve to be hurt. Simple as.
Also, I'm very sorry for that little outburst there. I don't normally get so emotional.
But yeah, guys, girls, they, thems, every other thing. If you're being
person.
disrespected, don't stand for it. Stand up for yourself and
just work on viewing yourself as the person that you are.
Mm.
Just work on genuinely looking at yourself and seeing your beauty, seeing your worth, seeing your amazing qualities, how, you know, you're a great person. You're like, because I guarantee you all are. I guarantee that the shit that you're getting is from feeling like you're worth that shit.
Mm.
And you just need to stop.
Absolutely.
I'm terrible at it. I am absolutely terrible at it. Like, I will sit there and just tear myself apart, and then I get a bunch of shit that follows. And yeah. Are you about to sneeze?
Yeah, it's like I want to sneeze, but it's not happening. But yeah, so
I'm gonna calm down now. Sorry.
Just stand up for yourselves, everyone. I mean, like, I've had situations before I've had to stand up for other people in streams and in comment sections and stuff, and you gotta do it. We gotta help each other out, and we got, like, you know, we're gonna help you out if you're not gonna help yourself. Dev says, how do I stop wavering even though I don't get triggered, but I do get scared? Well, I think the first thing to ask yourself is, why am I getting scared? What is it that is scaring me? What about the situation is scaring me? And then work on the bedrock of it. If I'm scared that I'm not going to get them, and if I don't get them, that means that I failed, then work on that part of it. Start to build yourself up so that you know that even if you don't get someone, that you're not failing, all those kind of things. Like the statement, like I know a lot of people get scared when they say, like, I'm good with or without, and they're like, oh, but I've said without, which means I'm not going to get them. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that whatsoever. You're just stating that you are not overly attached. So I don't know what it is that you're scared of, but try to find the bedrock of what it is that's scaring you, and then work on it from the ground up. uh Kiati, sorry if I said that wrong. Any tips for manifesting a job, please? Step one, get clear on what kind of job it is that you want, the hours, the pay, the location. Get clear on that. Step two, create scenes that imply that you already have this job. So it could be you working at the office, it could be you checking your paycheck and it says the company's name that have paid you the amount that you want. Create these little mini scenes that imply that you already have this role, and then turn them into affirmations if you like affirmations, scripts, visualizations, whatever. Then whenever a job comes to mind, like whenever you're thinking about jobs, make sure that you are thinking as though you are already in this job that you want, or earning the amount that you want if you haven't got a specific job. Make sure that you are thinking and feeling and acting from the end of already having this job, and then continue to repeat that to yourself. I have a video on my channel which is a success story of me manifesting my own job, and in it I basically say that I just kept affirming to myself that I had this job, that I worked for this company, that I earned this X amount working for this company, and so on and so forth. I just kept repeating that until it happened. And this is a great success story video, and I definitely recommend you check it out, because I didn't get accepted twice when I went for 2 interviews for them, and I still got the job on the third one, which proves to you that if you don't give up and you continue to persist, negative situations don't mean anything. They're just old story, and then you can just get the job anyway. So that's like, I'd recommend watching that video if you want some more advice. Abonay says, "Oh God, true. Fuck you, Matt." Oh, all right. I know the struggle. Oh, I know. Also, I'm using the same watch as yours, Katie, but in midnight black. The silicone strap they provided itches me sometimes. What about the strap you're using at the moment?
Mine is from Amazon. It's really faded, but it's just, you can replace them. I used to get like big, like white patches under where the watch. What?
Oh, nothing. I was just telling.
Under where the watch strap was. So, yeah.
Priya says, "Thanks for answering my question. You're very welcome." Ashley West says, "How do you connect your higher self?" So your higher self is basically just the side of you that doesn't have an ego, and is basically just the side of you that operates and knows that everything is already theirs. Everyone uses the term higher self or God self or like all that lot, and it's like, I think this is one of the things that adds confusion, because it's just there's so many different things for the same thing. So your higher self is basically just a place where you know that everything is yours. You know, you're operating from a standpoint of, this is mine, I'm worthy of it, I'm deserving of it. The way that you connect to that is to just be that, if that makes sense. You just operate from, of course everything works for me, of course I get what I want, of course this, and you kind of just operate from the place where there is no questioning. You know that it's yours. You know that the higher self is basically just a fancy way of connecting to your desire, to be honest, because I don't connecting to your higher self. That was weird. Connecting to your higher self, there's no really any point for that if you just go straight to the end result. But yeah, your higher self is basically just the place where there is no ego. You just know that everything is yours, that you deserve the best, that you will only accept the best, and you just operate from that place. I think people need to stop. Not you people, obviously, like people like coaches and stuff. I think they need to stop coming up with all these fucking terms just to like put videos out there. It just confuses people.
I feel like you need to do a series still of like, this word means this.
Yeah. Like A is
when
for apple.
People say this,
Yeah.
they actually just mean this.
H is for higher self. Gory's Adventure says, "Hey Matt and Katie, hope you're doing well. Doing very well. How are you doing? Are you doing well?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good." Ashtown Love says, "Hello Matt. Howdy howdy." You don't get a hello on that one. Random Name says, "How did you personally deal with missing Katie when manifesting her? My SP quit his job when I used to see him all the time. I've been trying to live in the end, but I still miss him." So it's not easy to not miss someone. I think, like, I don't know, I like to try and portray this in my videos and stuff. You can have normal human emotions. It's how quickly you can move on from them and get back on your game that matters. I did still obviously miss Katie. I just didn't let that missing her be the dominant state that I was in. I was like, oh, it kind of sucks. I really want to show her like this meme, or oh, like she'd be tucking me in bed right now, giving me my little blanket and dummy right now. But I can't. You can't let that be your state. You can't let that be where you reside. So it's okay to miss them, spend a couple of minutes missing them, but then get back onto, but we're together, but we're amazing, but everything's great. You don't let that be the operant state that you live from. Another thing that's really good for missing people is to go and do your own things. Remind yourself of who you are without this person in a good way, not in a way that makes you like not want them if you still want them, but go to like the gym, go do hobbies, go do all of these things and remind yourself that you can have fun without this person in your life. And again, like I said earlier, this doesn't mean that you're going to manifest them staying away from you. This is going to help you release the attachment, which then allows you to come from love and not lack. So you live for yourself, and it helps quite a lot. We already did the Monica Santos stuffs. Ashtown Love says, I have a question now that we are talking about old story. What about good moments in old story? Should we replay them? Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with using good parts of your old story. Definitely recommend if you can feel into them. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I always go forward because I'd rather not look back, even if it's good stuff. But absolutely, as long as it's a good thing, that's all that matters. As long as it's something that you can feel into that is from the desired end of you already having that thing. Absolutely. If I won the lottery before, I more than likely would continue to tap into that memory of winning the lottery again because I've already experienced it and I know what it feels like. So, yeah, if you want to, by all means. Abinaya says, Katie, question 1. On a scale of 1 to 100, how dumb is Matt? How much dumb Matt is? Well, let's not do the same thing for you, dumb.
He's actually quite smart, to be fair.
I've got glasses. What do you think?
Let's say, wait, what's the scale? 1 to 100? 42.
That's not quite smart.
How do you know?
Because it's less than half. You know what? That's fine. You'll get less than half.
Yeah, how dumb are you? Not how smart are you? So clearly... Right, I changed my answer. 75.
I'm a bit ill in case you can tell. Random Name says, I also acknowledge that our temporary separation is just purging of my old beliefs of people leaving me. But yeah, it is still emotionally difficult. Absolutely. Hang on, did you say? Yeah, you said that. Yeah. So, yeah, basically, it's all old stuff. If you're changing your thoughts now, you can take comfort in knowing that your future self will be experiencing current thoughts as old thoughts. So anything you're experiencing now is old thoughts. So if we just carry the one, in the future, all the work that you're doing now will make a difference. So continue going, continue pushing past the missing and doing whatever you've got to do. Continue, because now you will be future you's old self who has created a better life for future you. Abinay says, Katie, question 2. If your feminine urge to pinch or poke or even beat up, joke you guys, Matt goes peak right now, what would you do? What? I think you should just fucking beat me up, is basically. I don't know. Can you figure that question out?
What would you do? Well, I guess I would pinch or poke or beat up if it peaked.
All 3.
Yeah.
Gross.
Right.
Dumpling Juice says, I felt like I was in the Sabbath state for 2 days, but fell back into a desperate-ish state. I made new affirmations and feel like I'm wish fulfilled, but I keep shifting states. Is that normal? Yeah, we operate in different states all throughout the day, all throughout the week, all throughout the month. It is normal. I think the Sabbath state is... I have mixed opinions on the Sabbath state. I believe it exists. I believe it shouldn't be the aim. And I believe that acknowledging that you're in the Sabbath state is also acknowledging that you don't have your desire yet, which then probably was what leads to the desperation again. Because you're like, oh shit, I'm in the Sabbath state. But then by occupying that state, you're no longer occupying having, because you don't have a Sabbath state if you already have your thing. If that makes sense. Or you can't acknowledge it. It's a strange concept. I did a video on it the other day. The video flopped. I won't be doing a video on the 7th state for a very long time after this, but the 7th states are strange. Again, it's just another thing that adds more to the unnecessary journey, I suppose. It was a requested video, so I did the video, but I don't think accepting anything other than being in your desire is something you should be doing anyway. But it doesn't matter, I suppose. It sucks that you fell out of it, but just get back on the game and continue going, continue living in the end, and get yourself back to there and get yourself your desire. It is normal to shift states, though. Matt Schwartz says, I worked on self-concept and did SP affirmations and see no movement in the 3D. Then I saw a video from Ava Manifested That where she says that 80% of failing manifesting SP. That really gave me bad vibes. Oh, it skipped again. For fuck's sake, I hate when it does this. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I've never actually looked at the statistics. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the amount. And the reason being is that a lot of people have a lot more attachment to specific people than anything else. In this, you should really come from love and abundance with anything that you're doing. I mean, for example, my hairdresser, I always give £5 extra to every single time, regardless of whether it's a good job, bad job, I don't care. Reason being is that money isn't a problem for me. Like I have the abundance of money, and therefore money is probably one of my better areas in life because of the abundance that I have in it. And like the way that I have the abundance in my mind. A lot of the time people too attached, desperate, not saying you are, but too attached, too desperate, and that is why they never really get there. Not they never really, but that is why a lot of people are struggling to manifest specific people. That is why specific people videos are so fucking good for the algorithm. Like you post a specific person video and you're guaranteed to get like way more views than most others. You get the odd other topic video that does all right, but specific people video, that's why so many do them. I mean, like Natalie Dance from As the Pennies Drop, Manifest with L, they all do just like constant specific people videos, but it's because it does so well because people are always so desperate to get their person. So it's like this constant loop. I'm not surprised if that's the statistic. And I don't really like to accept the negativity side of things. Like I don't like to accept that people don't succeed and stuff. A lot of my clients have had success with their specific people, so that's quite a good thing. But I wouldn't let it get to you. You make yourself one of the 20%. That's all that you have to worry about. You haven't got to worry about what's going on in other people's journeys. All you've got to do is just manifest, be part of the 20% that have succeeded in it. Accepting that there's no movement is obviously never a good idea because you're only just creating the fact that there's no movement. And continue to work on it. Again, don't look for the results either. Basically, do the work, but continue to live your life. Continue to live like normal, going about how you would normally do it without the need for the person to come in. That's usually when they come in. As soon as you take away the attachment, the desperation, the negativity around them, the constant chasing, the constant, I need to do this to get this person, that's when you're operating from a state of, I'm all good. I'm good with or without. But then because of all the work that you've done of living in the end, usually the taking the attachment away is what allows it to come in.
So I have no idea. I don't watch any other manifesting YouTubers. I don't really watch YouTube. But do you think potentially that her saying that is just a ploy to get people to watch her videos more and do that sort of boost?
It depends on what was the rest of the video. Did she just simply say like people are failing, or did she say unless they do this and then gave you a technique or something? Because it is, again, it's quite common. Like I say, people abuse the algorithm.
And like, where did she get the number from? Like, did she actually do the research herself? Did she, like, is it an actual, scientific sort of research into it? Is it a survey? Did she ask 5 people or 10 people and 8 of them said, no, I can't do it? Like, because 10 people is nothing. Like, I think it's just like, you should never let statistics stop you. Especially when they come from somebody that actually benefits from you watching their videos. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just take everything with a pinch of salt, basically. Don't if it doesn't resonate with you, or if you don't like what's being told you don't have to take it. Ashley West says, Matt, I love your shirt. Thanks. Katie got it for me.
Boohoo man.
Yeah.
Boohoo.com.
Dev said Ava's video motivated me. Just live in the end. You'll get your SP. Yeah, exactly. Basically what I speak
I feel like
about.
I'm causing you YouTube drama this time. Normally YouTube.
Yeah, you're attacking everyone today.
Yeah.
Basically, earlier it was like women, fuck the men. That's basically what you started off with, and now you're going, you know what? Other fucking YouTubers, I've had enough of them. They're fake statistics.
No, like, where did she get it from? I'm not being funny. That's not something you can just find out.
Yeah.
Like, if you Googled it right now, like, nobody would have done a study on that. I feel like she just went, 80% scare the people, make them fear not being able to get their SP.
I used to watch her a lot when I first came into. I don't really watch her anymore. Abinea says, Ava's video motivated me as well. Could you tell me exactly which video you might have misinterpreted the meaning behind what she told? Yeah, I mean, Ava, from what I remember, because I haven't watched her for a very long time, a lot of what Ava says is basically just shut up and get your stuff. From what I've seen before, I don't know if this is like a new version of Ava or whatever, but a lot of what her earlier videos were basically just like, you're not getting your person, go get it, basically. So I don't know. I'd be interested to see what she sort of said about it. Affiliate Jumpstart says, hey, what's up, guys? Howdy, howdy. How you doing? Bossing Up Affirmation says, but getting a text message with an apology sounds more normal to me than diving into a relationship. Well, I mean, that's I don't like that personally. If you're needing an apology, you're not coming from an abundance mindset. You're coming from a lack place. You're coming from a holding on to the old story. You're coming from a place of they hurt me and I need them to make it right before we can do anything about it, which comes from lack. I personally believe that you should practice forgiveness on your own. Obviously, yes, it is nice when the person that hurts you says like apologies or sorry or whatever, but that's holding on to the old story. That's holding on to the old version of them. And just because, and if you're holding on to that, a lot of the time you're not going to get it. You know, like you need to change the version of them that you see in your mind in order to get a new version of them. So getting a text message with an apology is actually quite difficult if you're holding on to the fact that you need an apology. And yeah, I completely understand that it might be more normal than to dive into a relationship. But if things were normal, if thinking like normal was like the way forward, the people that are mega successful wouldn't be mega successful. The only reason that a lot of like really successful people are where they are is because they were constantly looking forward. They were constantly bringing the future to them now. Steve Jobs used to talk about it, how he would constantly imagine what the iPhone and all that lot would look like. There's loads of like rappers that have come from absolutely fucking nothing and say that they would just constantly think about themselves on stage or think about themselves like being there in front of millions of people. Dax, for example, is a rapper that I quite like. He used to be a janitor, and he talks about in some of his videos how he would like be a janitor, and he would literally like he would continue to, not obviously in these words, but in some songs he talks about how he would like speak it into existence and stuff. And now he like millions of subscribers on YouTube and stuff. For a janitor to become a sort of worldwide rapper, that's not going to be normal to think about. But you got to break these molds. Stepping out of your comfort zone is exactly what gets you what you need to have. Stepping out of your comfort zone allows you to break the mold. Thinking normal is the reason that we're all in situations where we want changes. Only the people that will think outside of the box and change their mindset, change their regular thinking, get the results that they want, or at least get closer to the results that they want. So I completely understand that it might not feel normal, but it might not feel normal to you because you're letting your ego run the show a little bit by needing the apology first. It is always better to come from love, abundance, and gratitude. I know I obviously had that little tangent about gratitude earlier, but I still believe gratitude is absolutely something that you should be practicing daily. I just thought it was food for thought. But come from those places and you will get a better version of the people in your life. If you're holding on to the old stories to get apologies, you're not moving forward. You're just looking backwards, you know? Christina says, how can I get my SP? So breaking it down very quickly. Step one, get clear on what it is that you want from your SP. Just getting them back doesn't really mean a lot because they could come back. They could be disrespectful. They could be hot and cold. They could be distant. Like just getting your SP isn't enough. Get clear on what kind of relationship it is that you want with your SP. Step two, create scenes that imply that you already have your SP. So if it's affirmations, create affirmations that imply you have them. Visualizations, you can visualize you two doing things together as a couple, scripting in the conversations, whatever. Come up with scenes that imply that you already have your desires. And then as you go about your day, redirect your focus back to the end result as though you are already living it now. Feel the feelings, think the thoughts, feel the emotions as well. Emotions aren't necessary, but they're definitely helpful. and continue to redirect your focus back to the end result as though you are already living it right in this moment, and persist in that. Let go of any old story, persist in a new story, and continue to live your life knowing that it is happening, knowing that it's on its way, knowing that you will have your person. Top FJS says, nope, I conjure up any state and I dwell in the state of me just being an amazing manifester. Would it be preferred to assume you get everything in the fastest way possible, or just assume that it's already done?
Two different people's comments.
Oh yeah, as the color, I confused myself. Top FJ, sorry, says, nope, I conjure up any state and I dwell in the state of me just being an amazing manifester. Well, that's great. Hopefully that works out well for you, and I really hope that you can live the absolute best life by going through that. I have no problem with the way that people like to, because obviously you were the person that asked, mentioned about making the assumption of you manifest fast. I have no problem with any way that people like to get their stuff whatsoever. So if that works for you, that's great. I was talking my opinion, and I just prefer to go straight to the end of already having my desire. Random Name says, would it be preferred to assume you get everything in the fastest way possible, or to just assume that it is already done? Food for thought. I do both personally. In my personal opinion, I would just go straight to the it's already done. Well, actually, so I would. It depends on what you're doing. If you're multiple desires, loads of different things, then yeah, sure, having like everything in the fastest way possible is great. But again, like I said earlier, making that assumption means that you don't get your things fast enough, which comes from lack. And it's a very iffy terminology, very iffy subject. My personal thing is to just go that it is already done. Easiest way, you just go straight to the end of, yes, I have my relationship. Yes, I have my money. Yes, I have my blah, 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 blah. And it will happen in the fastest way possible. That's the thing. If you let go of the need for it to be fast, and if you are able to just dwell in the end, things happen in the fastest way that they can, because your subconscious mind assumes it to be in your existence now. So it makes it come to you as fast to now as possible. Affiliate Jumpstart says, I recently manifested over £3,000 this month from an unexpected source. Wow, that's really cool.
Well done.
I think I saw your video, actually. I didn't watch the video, but I'm pretty sure I saw that you posted something. That's really cool. Congratulations. Kiana said, what's the affirmation? I'm assuming you mean to the Affiliate Jumpstart statement. And hi, by the way, howdy, Kiana. How you doing? M Joy says, I told my SP that I want to end the contact we have, and I'm manifesting him back as a lover. Couldn't keep up with the 3D being behind and lagging, so I'm moving with assumption that we are lovers. He keeps asking for friends with benefits. That is why I ended it, but I want him to be back. Like, I want him to ask me to be his girlfriend, fully committed and attention. Well, that absolutely can happen. It's good that you've removed your anything that you didn't like, anything undesirable, because then this allows you to then move forward in your new assumption without having to constantly battle the current 3D that you don't enjoy. Just stay persistent, stay knowing that you're worthy of relationships and that you are in this loving, passionate relationship, and whatever happened to get you there will happen. Fandom Geek says, Kiana, I remember you from Kim's live. Hello peeps, howdy Fandom Geek, how you doing? Anita Joseph says, your video helped me get back my SP. Hey, that's good. I'm very happy for you. You hear that, everyone? Listen to my videos. Missy B says, it's cool when you answer things, Katie. Thanks, Matt, as always, for your replies and helping all of us. You are very welcome. That's what I'm here for. Crimson Music says, this is like a therapy session, LOA. I love you guys. That's good. I'm glad you guys will show up and enjoy yourselves while you're here. Fandom Geek says, I know it's probably silent due to a request to slow down chat and catch up, but wanted to say many thanks in case I have to leave without saying gratitude. Thank you very much. Well, you're very welcome for everything. I'm glad you're here to show up because you've come for the past couple of lives, I'm pretty sure. So it's all nice to see that we have regular people coming to support us.
Yeah, we love the regulars. And the new ones.
And the new ones, yeah.
Top
FJS says, I was affirming that I always manifest insanely fast and effortless and had random thoughts pop up. I wanted to ask my mum to go to the shop to buy a drink, but didn't as I felt bad. A minute later, she asks me what kind of drink I want. Had random thoughts pop up in 3D. Well, good job. Well done. If it works for you, it works for you. I wasn't saying that you shouldn't do it. I was just saying what my own personal thing is. But well done for manifesting. Hopefully you can use that to manifest the big things as well, and just basically get everything that you want and have a really easy time doing so. And then you have to come back and let us know, and then basically be like, hi, Matthew, you were wrong. Abner says, oh, I see. I'm thinking of buying a new strap, like chain type, cloth type, leather type. So hence asked, how's yours faring? Because I want the one which doesn't itch my skin.
Yeah, this is a level 1. It has very much peeled. It's really good. It doesn't stick or anything like that. I think I also ordered like a chain one, and that made my wrist go that funny like greeny color when you have like fake jewelry on, so I wouldn't go with one of those. And I also had this one that was actually from Samsung, but it was like you know, like those things, and you push them in and you pull them up, and they're on like chains. So it was like metal, but what kept happening was it was like loosening itself, and my watch kept falling off. So that one also wasn't very good. But yeah, I've had this level 1 for years now, which is why it's so gross. And it doesn't itch or anything like that. The only thing I would say is I had to put more holes in it for it to go like tight, but like the holes weren't in the right place.
Yeah. If we could slow down with the questions now, just because we've been an hour and we still haven't eaten and everything, as per usual. So we'll have to sort of head off soon. Dev says, I'm scared of my dreams. I'm scared that she will end up being with someone else as my bridge of incidents. But then I am like, that's just stupid. If I am affirming for her, she is mine. So I tell myself, when Matt manifested Katie, she did not go to 3P. She went to him. Same as my situation. She will come to me, not anyone else, not anywhere else. And then, okay. So first off, earlier in the live, you said that you weren't getting triggered by these thoughts. And now that you're being scared of, these dreams, being scared of them is the same as being triggered by them. But so I still think obviously there's work to be done there. But yeah, just remind yourself that it's all good. I mean, to be fair, you don't have to. Just remind yourself that she's yours. Remind yourself that you're like worthy of the commitment, that you're irreplaceable, that kind of stuff. Like you haven't got to worry about it. Obviously, the fear, the panic is something that you need to kind of try and let go of as best you can. And then Roy says, have you tried meditating, Dev? And then Dev says, I can't meditate. And then says, oh, well, never mind then, lol. But they really do help with wavering. Why can't you meditate? If you don't mind my asking. Oh, it skipped. I'm going to punch a hole through my laptop.
Don't do that. Probably not the best idea.
Okay, cool. Abinaya says, sending this before I get potentially timed out by Matt. Did either of you both get picked on or discriminated for your tattoos, like in a workplace, formal events, etc.? Actually, Katie, with how? Okay, so we'll do the first one.
Yes,
No.
I have multiple times. I feel like so when I was growing up, more men had tattoos than women, and the women who had tattoos quite often went for like little dainty pretty ones and stuff like that. When I first started working, I was like 15 for my first job, and although it was completely not relevant, they made me take out all of my piercings, my stretches. I worked in a DIY shop and covered my tattoos. Not in that shop. So it was all the piercings and the stretches. I had one tattoo when I was 15 on my back. Actually, surprisingly enough, a lot of weddings I've been to, they have asked me to cover the tattoos or take the piercings out. Not so much now, but like back when I first started having them and stuff. I didn't get hired for 3 jobs, and I know for a fact they were for my tattoos. One of them was in a sort of like prep school as a receptionist, and it was all going perfectly well until they met me in person. One of them was a cattery, which is the coolest fucking job I've ever heard of. Literally, you look after cats all day. But yeah, as soon as they met me, they were much more older people who ran it. As soon as they met me in person, again, it went downhill. And the third one, I can't remember. But I know it's happened like 3 times. But yeah, my current job, they really don't mind. And now I have my own like machine and everything like that, and I'm obviously practicing. I go in quite often with like random new like finger tattoos or tattoos on my leg and stuff, and they're really cool with it. They don't mind at all. We have quite an older clientele, and I have found that like some of the time they will sort of stand there and look at me and then go, can you help me with this? And I'm like, yeah, like but yeah, I have quite a lot. Also, I used to have really crazy hair all the time, and that was a no-go. I almost got kicked out of school for having red hair until I made the argument that it wasn't as bright as ginger people's hair. And that obviously, yeah, they didn't tell those to dye their hair. Because it was like gingery. They just got really shitty with me because I dyed it. But yeah.
I've never been discriminated for my tattoos. Not as far as I'm aware. I mean, I might not have got jobs and stuff, but I move on from it. And if they say no, I don't really stop to ask why. And then Abinaya also says, actually, Katie, with how Matt answered, I think 42% might be a bit too low or on the dumbass meter.
I agree.
Well, listen, yeah. I've made a business out of telling people to just get over it. Nah, joking. Listen, Abinaya, I'll remember that next time you're crying in my DMs, asking me what went wrong. No, joking.
Don't be mean.
She's
that was mean.
Always mean to me. Now she knows I'm always there for her.
You can take it.
I can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she knows I'm always there for her. Making me apologize on live stream, making me look like a fool. I will not apologize. Love you really, Debonair. Natty J says hi. Lena says hi, guys. I just found out that my SP has a new girlfriend. It just feels like he moves in the opposite direction to no matter how I affirm. What? Okay, so this is a difficult one because again, I have a lot of this, and a lot of my clients have come to me with this kind of thing. Often when you look into the bedrock of how someone is operating, they affirm a lot, but then the rest of the time they're not keeping an eye on their thoughts. They're not keeping an eye on where the trajectory of their thoughts are going. I'm not saying this is you, but this is just a common thing. And their fears, they are very scared of things happening. And again, another thing as well is you just found out. How do you find that kind of thing out? Because I know obviously my situation will be very different to yours and to anyone else in here, but it takes a lot for me to find out about people in my past, even my own closest friends from years ago. I don't know what they're doing. So how are you managing to find these things out? All these kind of things added together make me wonder if you are actually doing the work. Now, again, this isn't me putting you on the spot. This is just a very common thing that I've come across quite a lot since being a coach. A lot of people say I was affirming, and they would do like maybe 5 minutes in total worth of affirming a day, but then the rest, their mind will be in the wrong place. If you're able... Fucking hell, sorry. If you're
matching coughs.
My throat just went like a desert. It was just dry as shit. If you're able to take a real proper look back at like your actual general day-to-day and your fears and everything, and be honest with yourself, were you actually doing the work more dominantly than you weren't? Or were you still giving in to the fears and stuff? But oh shit, I fucking move stuff. Because yeah, the purge exists apparently. I've actually changed my mind on the purge. I don't again, I like the Sabbath state. The purge is a state that people expect to experience in some cases, which can obviously, if it's an assumption, then it can happen. So that might be your situation. I don't know. Like I said, just look back on what you've been doing and see if it actually has been the right stuff, I suppose. Aniket says, Ava didn't mean it that way. She was talking about how people lack discipline and that's why people fail. Oh, then yeah, I 100% agree. It's all... So many people come to me and say, I can't stop thinking about this. I can't stop thinking about that. I understand that in some cases, it is difficult to get thoughts out of your mind, especially when you're super duper panicked. But you are not your brain. You are the awareness you place on things. Well, no, you are your brain, sorry. You are not your thoughts. You are awareness you place on said thoughts. You have the discipline to stop. You can stop thinking things. You can, or at least if you struggle to just stop thinking things, you can find things to put your focus on instead. The other day, I was walking home and I had a very undesirable thought come to mind that I knew was going to create a little bit of a panic for me. You know what I distracted with myself with? How doorknobby our doorknob is. I managed to sit there and just, while I was bringing the bin back, and just think about how much of a doorknob our doorknob actually is. And it helped. Just taking my attention and placing it so hard on the doorknob took my...
In what sense?
What do you mean?
Well, how much doorknobby is our doorknob?
It's very doorknobby.
But it's not, because it's a handle. A doorknob is a circle.
Well, I was thinking it, and now we're talking about it. So it's clearly enough to change my trajectory of thought.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Exactly.
I'm just saying that it's not a doorknob because it's not a circle. It's a handle.
On the inside. On the outside, it's like it's kind of, I suppose it's about half and half, and it's kind of like a round on the outside.
Well, on the outside?
Yeah, on the outside. I wasn't bringing the bin in from the inside,
Right,
was
I got to go and have a look because I'm sure it's a handle.
It's not. It's
a fucking handle.
It's the equivalent to a door semi. All right, now we're arguing. But yeah, you can place your thoughts on other things. So yeah, discipline is absolutely a fundamental thing.
I can't believe that it's not a handle.
See?
It's a fucking handle.
No. Top
It
FJS.
is still a handle, but it's like circle on the end.
Yeah, Top FJS says Ava's video actually is titled "Why 99% of People Fail to Manifest Their SP." Then she gives reasons. It's just clickbait title. Relax. Yeah. So what we were saying earlier, if it benefits them, so I do still agree with the statistic. A lot of people do fail. Well, depends how you want to failing. It depends on how you want to, because no one fails. They just give up, if that makes sense, and they go on to something else. A lot of the time, because I probably should have chose my words better before I started going on to this. You cannot fail. It just hasn't happened yet. So she doesn't mean people have failed. She just means it's not happened yet. I know I just repeated myself, but I just wanted to point out 99% of people fail to manifest their SP. What she means is 99% of people haven't manifested their SP yet. Here's why. You cannot fail. Okay. But yeah, clickbait, helping out the algorithm. I still have a lot of questions, so hopefully you guys have stopped. If you haven't, can you guys start with questions for now? Just because, can you order that, please? And I'll just use my card. Oh, have I got money on my card? I have to swap the money from the other accounts onto my card. I've got 2 accounts on there.
I don't know how to do that.
Go onto my Metro account.
I don't know how to do that. Do you want me to just do it on my phone?
No.
I'll just do it on my card?
No.
No,
Okay. I'll walk you through it. So I think I answered what I meant to answer. So is it possible to manifest under stressed state? I'm struggling to trust things will work out in my favor under a time crunch, getting kicked out of my apartment with currently no place to go to yet. So yes, it is possible to manifest while stressed. However, you're trying to make changes to your current reality you're trying to change things in your current reality because things aren't going the way that you want them to do and you're worried about it, which is fine. That's obviously a lot of people come to that conclusion that they need to change things. However, if you're trying to change things in a time crunch as soon as possible and you're fearing and panicking about it, you are only creating more of it. You are stressing yourself out. You are going to create more by going, I need to change this, if that makes sense. If you're accepting that I don't have the money that I need right now, or I don't have a place to stay, right now, I need to change this, you are fearing and panicking the fact that you don't have somewhere to go to, which is only creating more of it, if that makes sense. So what you want to do is you want to let it all go as best you can. I understand that you might need backup plans. I understand that you might need, I understand that you might need the reassurance, but you need to make that choice about whether you are going to commit yourself to the inner work and let go of the story, let go of the fear, let go of the palette, to make it work, or whether you're not going to do that. Because by accepting the old story and trying to change it by looking at the old story and accepting that it needs changing, you're only going to stay in that situation. Oh God, my throat's getting really dry. Top FJ says, stop letting these coaches tell you what you can and can't do. It's the law of belief assumptions. What you believe, assume has to be true. Don't let these coaches get in your head with limited beliefs. Yeah, that one. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, I definitely have said some limiting beliefs in my own videos. Joey does, Kim Velez does. All of these people definitely do. It definitely does happen. And I do 100% agree with Top FJS. If you don't resonate with it, if you listen to it and you go, well, I don't want that to be the case for me, it doesn't have to be the case for you. And yeah, you shouldn't. If a coach, including myself, says something that you don't agree with and you have a valid reason as to why you don't agree with it, you should 100% call them out for it or not listen to what they have to say. Abner says, Katie, have you ever thought of doing YouTube videos, like probably tutorials, showcasing, etc.? Maybe your YouTube name can be Katie Does.
Katie Does. My sort of like online thingy is Katini because it's a mash of my names, but no, probably not, just because I get really anxious.
Unless she's having a go at men.
Yes, unless I get, that could be my YouTube. That could be my whole YouTube, just me having rants about stuff that I feel really annoyed about. Because then I can make a video like, 4 times a day.
Have you not seen like Sneeko and Andrew Tate and like all those people? That's all they do. They just basically sit there and
Rant
go,
about-
I disagree with this.
Yeah.
Dev says, no, Clarissa, if you already have it, you won't be stressed. Just live in the end peacefully. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying. Try and let go of the lack, the scared, the fear, all that kind of stuff, and just live in the end as though you already have it. Abonea says, Kate, you look amazing today.
Why, thank you.
Dev says, Abonea, you manifested your SP, right? Bossing Up Affirmation says, Katie is beautiful.
I'm going to get embarrassed and leave me.
Yeah. Abonea says, Katie, what's your
Thank you.
opinion on the political and economical state of the world? Go on, Katie, you've been asked the question.
I'm not going to start that.
Yeah,
I'm not.
It's not for this live stream.
No, honestly, every now and then he just has to listen to me for about an hour while I get to the point of crying and screaming about how ridiculous the fucking world is.
Yeah.
And particularly America.
Yeah. R says, love your British pronunciation. Hello from India. Howdy, howdy. Thank you very much for the compliment. Bossing Up Affirmation says, thank you for answering my questions. You're very welcome. Anytime. Abonea says, yeah, Katie. So Katie. I feel like you've got a little fangirl, you know. Dev says,
They're not your fans.
no, none of you are my
my
fans. Dev says, damn, Abonea, ignored me. I got to work on self-concept. Abonea says, and yes, I did manifest that. Abonea says, not YouTube, deleting my messages, shaking my head. Random Name says, fun question. When did you realize that manifestation is actually real? I realized manifesting is real when I manifested money for college tuition within 2 months, about 1.8K. Oh, nice. So for me, the first thing, not at the time, looking back, I can obviously say, yes, that was when it was proven. But at the time, I remember listening to Master Sri Krishna while on my way to work. And it was a money thing. And he was just talking about money. And I remember thinking to myself about basically just having more money. That same day, my gran, she messaged me and basically said, I've got some stuff to drop off. Do you mind if I pop round? And she dropped off an envelope from my auntie or great auntie. And in it was money. And I was like, oh, funny coincidence. Looking back now, obviously, clearly it was a manifestation of money. But I think the thing that really bedrocked it for me was getting Katie back. That was the thing for me that was basically like, yep, this is 100% accurate, blah, blah, blah. That was my big thing. And then since then, obviously, I've had like loads of successes. And now it's like embedded in my head that it works. And then says, Daniel. Dev says, Abonea, how was the experience? Abonea says, Dev, I'm so sorry. My internet is really annoying right now. It takes me time to reload the messages. Oh, it skipped down again. I'm going to punch myself in the nuts. Abonea says, Random Name says, ever since I never worry about money and career. That's good. You should never worry. Dev says, cat. Dev says, it's okay, Abonea. By the way, congrats. And then also says, Matt, put Abonea's story on your feed. Did I can't remember. I get so many success stories now, or like people saying that everything's great that I've actually forgotten what I've posted. Abonea says, I felt.
Or is he telling you to put it on?
Matt put. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, maybe I will. I'll speak to Abonea after and see if she'll give me a story. I thought she said that. I thought he said that I'd put it on. See, this is what I mean.
Forgotten?
Yeah, this is what I mean. I don't know what I haven't put on. I'm gonna elbow drop you in a minute, cat. If you put your ass on my face one more time. No, I want the cat. Abonea says, I felt pleasantly surprised after my ass off. It's more like I knew this was going to happen. What did I tell you? Fandom Geek says, lol, still here, referencing my goodbye. Thanks. I'm a bit new to the channel community. Curious, but is Katie a manifester herself? Well, before she answers that fully, we are all manifesting. It's just conscious manifesting is what these channels are for. But are you, Katie, a manifester yourself?
Yeah.
There you go. She's going to do her own video soon.
No, I'm
going to make it happen.
I'm
going to manifest it.
I'm
Everybody, lend me your energy.
So when he first started the YouTube and everything, he didn't tell me anything about it. And I'd never heard of it, like never heard of the concept or anything like that. And for quite a while, even when you were doing YouTube, I wasn't like consciously trying to get anything or, like trying to change anything. Obviously things were changing and everything like that, because like you said, everybody is manifesting. But it wasn't until really like, you've not put it up enough and I don't like linking. Yeah, it wasn't until really like kind of It sounds funny, but like bad things were happening to me that I really thought, oh my God, I need to change my thought patterns and need to stop doing what I'm doing, sort of thing. And then that sort of, I more so consciously changed the negative rather than actually looked for things. But now, I mean, I do my own daily affirmations. I actually do scripting every day at work because I like every day that I'm at work and stuff like that. I feel personally for me, scripting works better than anything else. Literally, almost anything I write down just happens. So, yeah.
I've lost 3 subscribers since starting this live stream. Very unhappy.
Have you?
Yeah.
What have you done?
I don't know. I probably upset someone. Abonea says Matt's gonna have my account nuked and dusted to atoms before he posts my story. Laugh my ass off with the amount of Katie mentions. Don't even think about it. I'm gonna do it. And Anne says, "Hey, I love punching walls too, Matt." Why did I punch a wall?
No, you was gonna punch this and punch that and punch this. And
Oh, I
that.
see. Phantom Geek says, a bit of a generic one. How do you keep yourself motivated? Also, can we personal message you on Instagram for occasional questions since we aren't clients? Yeah, sure. I tend to answer a lot of things. The client base is more for people that want like a lot more in depth, like here's what you need to do sort of thing. But if you've got like the odd question here and there, by all means, just ping it over. I don't always answer immediately, especially on Instagram at the moment because my Instagram is buggered. So it's really difficult for me to keep up with Instagram. But yeah, by all means. But how do I keep motivated? So for me personally, I have like a few things. The first one is I refuse to die mediocre. I've opted out of a pension of every job that I have because I will not allow myself to get comfortable. So the first step is knowing that I have desires, I have goals. I don't want to be mediocre. Obviously, I'm only 24 at the moment, and I'm definitely not where I want to be yet in terms of the 3D. But I have goals, I have aspirations, and I'm not going to die mediocre. And that fuels me quite a lot. The other thing is I had a dad that left, and I have a mum that I have to constantly lend money to. I don't want to end up like them in the nicest way possible. Mum, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Dad, if you're watching this, fuck you. But I don't want to end up like either of them. And therefore, that drives me. Another thing is I schedule my days in the morning or at the night before if I remember to. And that helps keep me motivated because I have time slots for every single thing. I have this long ass to-do list, but yet I can fit all of it in my day by scheduling it in. And that really helps me keep motivated because I'm like, oh, well, I feel like I've got loads to do, but actually I can get all of this done by like 7 o'clock at night sort of thing, including my job or whatever. And that helps me stay motivated because I see how little time it actually takes me to do said things. And finally, I now have Katie and the kids to like continue working for. I work my 9 to 5 and then I do this business on the side. And the reason being is I want to be able to allow them the future that they deserve. You know, I want to be able to have this house where we have like a built-in pool so the kids can be like, can we go outside the pool? And we haven't got to like, you know, we haven't got to blow it up or anything like that. I can just literally just be like, yeah, mind the concrete steps, you know, like I have more than just me to live for. And when you have more than just yourself to live for, you have constant motivation. Like, obviously, as I say in all my videos, you definitely should be living for you, and that should definitely be a driving factor. But things on your side that you have to live for, that you have to give a life to, they are my motivation. They are my driving force. So that's how I stay motivated regardless. There are days when I don't feel motivated, but you got to get up and go. If I was to spend one Saturday, every Saturday, doing absolutely fuck all, which I do every now and then. But if I was to do it every single Saturday, even like when I have the energy to, or if I don't, that's 52 days in a year that I don't work. Which, when you have dreams, when you have goals, when you have places you want to be, that's a lot of days to miss out. So yeah, that kind of scares me, the idea of not using my time up.
Also, I think what motivates me, which sounds kind of weird, is everybody else's expectation for you to fail. Yeah. The fact that the first reaction when you tell people about what you're doing, what you're dreaming, what you're doing, like to get towards those dreams is, well, that might not happen. Oh, why? Like, why would you think that would happen? Sort of thing. The fact that a lot of people doubt me or doubt anyone is a massive drive. The idea that you can prove everybody wrong
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abner says, speedrun pulling up that generic YouTube apology video with gallons of water stored in the eyes ready to pour at any point. I fucking hate them. Anyone that does one of those YouTube apologies is a scumbag. And then I fucking, you're not sorry. And the fact that is that like you're using it for views as well. I just... Lena says, we are still in touch. He told me today about the new girlfriend and I've been trying to really watch my thoughts. I do have bad dreams. Okay, so it is just a circumstance. What the Dear X, sorry I'm late to my favorite coach. I appreciate. Whoa, you really did not have to do that. Thank you so much, dear X, but like that's way too much. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate that. That's very, 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 very generous of you. And I honestly, I really hope that you get 10 times that in return through life. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. But it's okay that you're late. It's just a free live stream. You didn't have to pay 50 quid as a late fee. But thank you so much. We both really appreciate that. That's honestly so generous of you. Lena says we're still in touch. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. So having bad dreams, I wouldn't worry too much about it. The circumstance itself, again, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would honestly recommend that you withdraw your energy. I have a video going out Monday about how to make them miss you and how to make them come back. This is a bit of a different video, actually. I'm kind of just sat on this sofa. It's a lot more relaxed. Because just a little side tangent before I answer your comment, Lena, which I definitely will. I noticed in a lot of my videos that, especially lately, I've becoming very much to the point. I'm like, here's your information. Now get off my video, sort of thing, you know? Not obviously in that way. Obviously, I'd love you guys to watch the full things and have all the information. But when I started doing research on how to do better videos and stuff, it was like, me, plan it out, make sure you have your points in order and stuff. And I think part of my videos kind of lost that conversationally kind of side. So on the video on Monday, which is about how to make them miss you and how to make them come back, it is a lot more relaxed and it's a lot more conversationally. And so hopefully you enjoy that style of video. I can't remember why I got on this tangent, but yeah, I would recommend you withdrawing your energy. Oh, that's why, because of the energy. I would recommend you withdrawing your energy until he starts acting the way you want him to. Withdraw it. There is no point having things reminded to you about the third party because all that's going to do is keep them in your reality because you're constantly thinking of them. I recommend withdrawing your reality, create scenes that imply that you are with your person and dwell in those scenes. Feel the emotions, feel the feelings, feel the think the thoughts as if you were already there. Really dwell in this state and embody that state of already having your desire, and then know that it's done. And then work on your self-concept as a side to ensure that you are irreplaceable, that you know that you're irreplaceable, and keep going. This is all a circumstance. It can change. It can work out in your favor. Just don't let it beat you down if you don't want to give up. And I'm really sorry that like you guys kept in touch and he told you that, but I would recommend withdrawing your energy. Lauren says, what about manifesting an SP with a different sexual orientation than you? Same rules apply. You just create scenes that imply that you're with this person, what will happen, and dwell in them and ensure that you are feeling as though they exist for you. What will happen together to happen. Yeah, and just don't let that be a limitation. By assuming that the sexual orientation changes anything is a limitation in itself. Abner says, I'm with Katie by my side. Even if I get bullied, she still stands up for me. See, Matt, I may have been mean to you. I don't know, but one mean comment from you, Katie goes protective mode. I love you, Katie. Yeah. She actually beats me up after these live streams. I'm joking. I'll take her on. Rogan, come back. I missed the cuddles. Random name says, at Lauren, forget the sexuality labels. I thought my SP was straight, and then I just focused on my SP instead of straight guy. Later found out he's bi. Yeah, see, circumstances happen to get you from point A to point B. You just got to stay consistent with knowing that it's happened. Applebum says there is no failure, only delay. Absolutely. Don't ever let yourself think that you've failed. And don't ever let yourself think that you're doing something wrong. Unless you're actively thinking of the wrong stuff, you are not doing anything wrong. You're just delaying yourself. Fandom Geek says, let me eat, lol. What?
Let them eat.
Let them eat.
As in you.
Oh, us, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't read.
You're going up on that.
I am. I am getting dumber as this live stream's gone on. Subhrajit, sorry if I said that wrong, Hello, Matthew. I have a small question. Why did Neville, in his ladder experiment, ask his audience to focus on not climbing up the ladder in the daytime while focusing on climbing the ladder at night? So the reason he did this is because he wanted to prove that imagination, when in a state of relaxation, is more powerful than what you do during the day. He wanted to prove to you that you can, if you get yourself in a state akin to sleep, if you feel into climbing that ladder, if you really impress with your mind that you've climbed that ladder, no matter what you do, it will happen. And therefore, he told people to actively try to avoid climbing a ladder for the preceding days because he wanted to prove to you that in the right state of like consciousness, in the right state of brainwaves and all that kind of stuff, when your subconscious mind is more impressionable, you can impress a seed that cannot be unearthed, which is 100% true. But a lot of people do struggle to impress their mind in those sort of settings. But yes, that is why he did that. Anand Roy says he was proving the power of imagination. Satch, yep. Applebum says concentrating on the mechanics of nobbies sounds like meditation. It kind of was in a weird way when you think about it. So Brigitte says, at one time, one is positively affirming for climbing it up, and at other times, consciously time, one is negative affirming it. Is it to detach oneself from the desired output? How do you know? How do you look at it? Okay, yeah. So no, it's just to prove to you that imagination in Sats is far stronger than anything else that you can do. Roulez says, or rules, how many times I affirm, and do I affirm in my head or out loud? The amount that you affirm is up to you. It's what feels natural to you. It's what feels good for you, and what feels like you are reaching the state of fulfillment. In your head or out loud is up to you. If I'm alone, I'll do it out loud and I'll do it with conviction so that I can really feel into it. If I'm with people, I'll affirm it in my mind as to not look stupid.
We'll sing them. I like to sing them.
There you go. Or sing them. Yeah. And Android says, no, I'm your fanboy. Hey, good. And then says elbow drop. I thought he said elbow deep. I thought he called me his fanboy. I thought he said he was my fanboy, and then goes elbow deep. Elbow drop. Yeah, that's why the cat's not with me anymore. Elbow dropped her. Random name says, lend me your energy. Hey, I'm glad someone got the reference. I was a bit worried I look like a twat. Okay, here we are. Yeah. Did you see that part? When you're talking, I'm like, lend me your energy, which Goku does, and then I can't be like, I'm so glad someone got that reference. I thought I'd look like an absolute knob on live stream.
You do that anyway.
Yeah. Abinay says Google's how to be a kitty for Katie alone. Def not me who unsubscribed. I bet you did as well. I'm gonna have a look. If it says Abinay unsubscribed, I'm gonna be well unhappy. Well happy. Well, I gained a subscriber, so maybe it was. Random name says I'm a lazy ass, so I just affirm my goals to come to me instead of the other way around. Yeah, absolutely. Like make it come in for you. We've just reached the point where DX donated $50. So Jesus Christ, thank you so much. Like you really didn't need to, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And then Roy says, gosh, I miss your message, but actually he wrote that how affirming and seeing stuff can still not outweigh the power of imagination. He was kind of more supportive of inner things like Sats. Yeah, absolutely. And inner talking and stuff like that. It was just another experiment to prove his point that imagination outweighs 3D stuff. I don't really feel the same. Just do what suits you. Yeah. Lena says, yeah, I think I need to work on my self-concept. It's actually something he told me once, that I need to see myself the way others do. Absolutely. You do need to see yourself as the most amazing, most badass, most awesome, most incredible, most fantastic, most phantasm, most...
Phantasm.
What's another complimentative word?
Beautiful.
Beautiful, most charismatic, most genius,
Desirable.
most desirable person. Boom. And because obviously you support the channel, you're already all of those things. So you just got to see yourself that way, and then everyone around you will see you like it. Abinaya says 94%. I'm thinking what I'm thinking, Katie. Gotcha. Mia, be set to perfection today. I don't know what to say. It's been mean to me. LK says, then why do all other coaches preach affirmations during the day? Because a lot of the time people do struggle to do the impression at night properly. This is why a lot of the time people don't like visualizing. A lot of the time people don't like Sats. A lot of the time people tend to just fall asleep. Like if you look back in a lot of comments from videos, a lot of people will say, I tried to visualize, but I fell asleep. I tried this, but I fell asleep. I tried this, but I can't visualize. Neville Goddard was basically stating that if you do this technique perfectly, nothing that you can do during the day will stop you from getting your thing, basically. However, most people do struggle with that. So us coaches have found ways to present the same information to you in a way that will work for the people that struggle. This is your journey. I say to use affirmations in a conversations, visualize. I basically, in every single video, I say whatever you do, scripting, visualizing, affirmations, whatever. You use what is best for you. That is all that you have to do. We preach ways to help in the way that to basically help everyone. I've done inner conversation. I've done an affirmation. I've done revision. I've done scripting. I've done loads of technique videos because it's whatever works best for you. If you can get yourself into stats and impress your subconscious mind like that, great. You're going to have so much success. But a lot of people do struggle, so we've had to find other ways around it. Fandom Geek says, feel like I should explain, lol, that line and let them eat was sent when you asked for us to slow down the chat. Yeah, after Katie explained it to my 94% dumbass, I understood it. Alan says, have you ever had a client you couldn't help? Oh, it's Alan. Howdy. Yes, I have. And no, I haven't. So I have had 3 clients that have not been desired outcomes so far. The first one was a guy in my first month of coaching. He gave it 3 days before he was like, I'm done. Not because of me. He just could not, under any circumstance, get over his circumstance. He could not let go. And in his email, he basically said, look, I appreciate the help, but I can't do this, and quit. So that one was on him more than me. I had one client a couple of months ago, a female, who was very difficult to work with. Everything that she did in her own mind was, I've done everything perfectly. Why is it not here yet? And obviously, I was trying to explain that when you're looking for it, you are accepting that it's not here yet, and you are embodying the state of it not being here. And unfortunately, we kept clashing not clashing. I kept saying, look, you need to let go of the absence of time, of the concept of time, and you need to just continue doing what you're doing because you're doing everything else fine if what you're saying you are actually doing, but then you need to go and live your life and let it come to you when it does. She didn't quite get that, or at least it came across like she didn't, and she kept saying, where is it? I've done everything perfect. Why is it not here yet? And yeah, got to a point where she started getting a little bit rude. Now, I've spoken to American people before, and I have had instances where I will say something in a mannerism and they've taken offense to it, and they've said something and I've been like, oh, that's a bit rude. I think that is just a difference in kind of way that we speak. And I don't think that she was meaning to come across quite rude, but to me, she came across quite rude. So when the coaching was up, I was just like, I'm not working with you again, basically. I don't know whether anything went well for her. I think that if she had done what she said she was doing, she would have had a lot of success if she let go of time. That one was more of like, we didn't really work together. And the third and final one, and this one is probably the most ridiculous of all of them. I had a client and they came to me. I gave them my response email because obviously I say, give me your situation and what you're looking to manifest. I gave them like a big breakdown email of like what I reckon they should do and all that, yada, yada, yada. They gave me one response email. I responded, didn't hear from them for the rest of the month. And then at the end of their coaching, they were like, I gave you feedback. Here's some feedback on the coaching. I thought it was going to be more of a certain kind of way. However, I didn't get that. And I'm kind of like, not too keen on it. And I went back to them and basically said, that's fine. Thank you for the feedback. But we had 2 emails each. You emailed me given your situation. I gave you some ideas. You gave me something. And then I responded. I can't remember what it was about now because this was like a couple of months ago. And then you didn't respond. You had an entire spam stuff. Can you get rid of that while I continue to talk? You had an entire month. And all you did was respond to me once based after my initial email, and that was it. And then said that it wasn't quite what you wanted. You didn't give it time. And I actually offered this person an extra 2 weeks to work with me in the way that they would like, and they never responded. So those are my 3 undesirable comments. One was they gave up. The other one was that we just kind of didn't resonate, which is fine. You come to me for coaching and you might not resonate with me. That's fine. And if you really don't, and it's like early enough, I will be happy to give you your money back. I've never had this with any other people, and I've never actually had anybody ask for their money back. And I've had a lot of successes with my people. So I'm guessing that there's no need for that. But if you come to me and go, actually, like within the first week or whatever, this isn't for me, you can have your money back. But those are the 3 instances where I've had clients that I couldn't help. And that's mainly not to pass the blame, obviously, but that's not necessarily because of me. The only one that was, I suppose, because of me, was the final one because she didn't like my coaching. The others were more people just not being able to do things on their own side. Thanks for getting rid of those.
That's all right.
So yeah, there you go.
I think one of the things that she said was that she wanted it to be more like a conversation.
Yeah, sure.
It quite often is.
Yeah.
Like the majority of people who do email, obviously I don't read the emails, but he replies to them every now and then just on his phone, and I'm like, oh, you can do that? And he's like, yeah, because it was just, you know, like just a one line sort of quick question kind of thing. So yeah, a lot of the time it is like a conversation. So I think it was more like, I guess maybe you could have explained, like, you can hit, you know, like send as many as you want, or I don't know, do you know what I mean? Like, not necessarily your fault or her fault or anything like that. It was just more
I think that part should be obvious though when it's literally named unlimited email coaching.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like
no, I get what you're
you
saying.
should have explained it more. I'm saying she didn't understand, but maybe if it was explained in a different way, she would have understood that she could have literally just sent 1,000 emails in one day if she really wanted to. And yeah, it is very much a to and from conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really hot, sorry.
It's all right. But yeah, so those are my 3 instances. If there's anyone in this chat that's been a client of mine and wants to share the experience, then by all means. But I think I'm actually quite a good coach, to
I
be
think
honest.
as well, you should probably just say it like that 3 out of
loads. Like
what,
loads.
300 or I don't know. But
that's probably quite close to accurate. Anywhere between 250.
Like 3 out of 300. So
I think our food might be here. Yeah. Would you be right to grab it while I finish off?
No, I don't go to the door.
Oh, all right, I'm going to have to quickly answer these questions.
I can go, it's fine. When they knock.
Dear X says, what are the signs that other people are manifesting us, if any? Thank you, Matthew. Now, I actually don't believe that other people in our reality are manifesting us. I believe that you are the operant power. What? Okay. I believe that you are the operant power. And I don't personally, but if you're the operant power, then you cannot be manifested, if that makes sense. I believe that if someone was to be manifesting you, it would be in their reality. And the only way that they would get their manifestation with you is if you were to occupy the reality that they're in. Hang on, I didn't know I explained that very well. Let me start again. I don't believe that you can be manifested. You are the operant power in your reality. If someone in another reality where they're the operant power is manifesting you, you are just an idle pawn in their reality, basically, and that then you don't have free will in their reality. However, in your reality where you are the operant power, I don't believe that you can be manifested. I think that you being manifested can happen if you give the allowing for that to happen. If you create an assumption that you can be manifested, then potentially you could, because that's an assumption. But as the operant power, what you say goes. You have the final word, essentially. So I don't personally think that other people can manifest you, because I don't really want to bring her up, but I've had someone actively try to manifest me, and all that made me do is hate them more. So I don't think it can happen. You are the open power in your reality. Abonea says, nothing to worry about, Matt. Katie knows. As long as she knows, I'm content. I don't know what the fuck you guys are on about. Anand says, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, dope shit. Here you go, another word. Another word for what? Did I ask for words? Oh, confused. I confused myself. Fandom Geek says, was in Mary Poppins, and I have PTSD to that dance number. Laugh my ass off. What? Did we do a Mary Poppins like reference? Was there something about Mary Poppins? Because that's 2 things in a row about Mary Poppins.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Our food actually shouldn't be here for like another half an hour if it's based on the.
I thought that was it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
No, I'm sad now.
Driving my car.
Yeah. Lena says, I try to affirm both during the day and at night. During the night, I put on pre-recorded affirmations, and they tend to help somewhat with bad dreams. Okay, so that's cool. So we got like a bit more of an idea. Are you manifesting from a place of, I need to do this in order to get this? Because if you're affirming day and night, chances are you're probably feeling a bit of lack towards it because you feel like you need to do it a lot. So, yes, please. Because our food's not here, you guys can continue asking questions for a little bit if you want.
But if it randomly ends, it's because our food arrived.
Yeah. But yeah, because if you're doing it day and night, there might be a slight hint of yourself that is in a very much a lax state, which is you're like, I need to affirm all day and night in order to get my desire. And therefore you're accepting that you don't have it. So are you naturally affirming, like when it comes to mind, oh, yep, I'm in this relationship? Or are you going, I'm in this relationship, I'm in this relationship, I'm in this relationship? When you look back at your daily routine, which one do you more resonate with? Jen Medak says, my SP sometimes runs when I affirm hard, like he gets scared. What are some affirmations to get him to come close and not scared and run? Similar thing to what I just said. If you're affirming hard, it might be because you're in a state of lag. And when you're in a state of lag, all you're doing is pushing them away. My advice, affirm the end result. So I'm in a loving, passionate, committed relationship with so-and-so as just a generic affirmation. And only do it when it feels natural and feels good to do so. And then continue to live your life like normal. Because if you're over-affirming, you're coming from a state of lack. Only affirm the amount that feels natural for you. I mentioned in the video that I did, I think it was my collab actually with Joey a couple of days ago, about how when I had the time when I was unemployed, scripting, affirming, visualizing all throughout the day nonstop was fine because I had the free time and I was bored. Now that I'm working, now that I've got the business and everything, if I try to do too much, I notice that I'm in lack. I notice that I'm trying to force it instead of it being natural because I don't have the time. I don't have the mental capacity to continue to do all of these techniques nonstop. So definitely take a look at how you're affirming and the kind of state that you're in while affirming and see if that makes a difference. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Fandom Geek says, does saying things like I am always chosen extend before SP and include things like school plays, etc.? Absolutely. Yeah. So saying I'm always chosen is a self-concept affirmation of I am always chosen. Therefore, because that is your I am state, I am always chosen, your subconscious mind will push out things that show to you that you are always chosen. So yeah, absolutely. And Phantom Geek also says, please go take care of yourselves and eat low. I apologize for any further questions. It's fine. We love being here. If we could, we'd do it for longer. This is why I'm trying to manifest dropping some days so I can do live streams more often and maybe even start doing them more during the day so that people who currently are asleep will be able to show up to them a bit easier. But it's fine. Abner says, nah, I don't know. Lena says, how can I become a client? Is it one-to-one? Yeah, so my email coaching is available on my website. I will put the link below for you. It's one-to-one email coaching. When I drop days at my work, I will be implementing more. I will be going back to video calls as well. I'll be doing them during the day, like when Kate and the kids and stuff are at work and school and everything. But at the moment, it is just email coaching. Unlimited, the basic package gives you unlimited emails for a month for £30. I don't know what that'll be in your currency if you're not UK. And the premium one gives you a free vision board, access to the group face-to-face Zoom calls, which we do once a month, a catch-up day. So if you choose not to come back for coaching the month after, then you will get a day where I will be like, how's everything gone a month later? And we will have a full day's discussion well, not for free, obviously, because it's part of the premium package, but a free day. And yeah, unlimited. And there's something else as well, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so you can, obviously, it's entirely up to you, whatever you feels best for your situation. And that one's £55. Abner says, 'twas a great stream. Now you should go eat. It's not here yet, unfortunately. Fitter says, I'm in love with my ex and like to manifest him back. Problem is, we see us 3 to 4 times a month because we share the same friends. Is that a problem? Because everyone talks about not having contact is better. Love your content. Thanks for your work. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for the support. It depends on what's best for you. If you're able to deal with the circumstance without feeding into it, then it's fine. If it makes you spiral, if you sit there and think, oh, well, we're like, we're around friends, we're not together, we're not this, we're not that, I would recommend taking some energy back, taking some time back to yourself. All that you need to do, though, is create scenes that imply that you're with this person in the perfect relationship for you and dwell in them. Feed into them using your imagination. Feel into them. What emotions would you have? What feelings will you feel? What things would you think? And dwell there. Bring your future to now. Make your future become a current memory, for example, and dwell in that. Jadri says, hey, Jadri, we haven't seen you yet, I think. Sometimes, I accidentally skipped. Sometimes terrible things happen on the way to your end result. Keep the faith. Yeah, that's often called the purge. I've tried to remove the purge as something that I believe in because obviously it's a limiting belief if you think about it. The idea that we have to go through absolute fucking hell just to get our desire kind of sucks. So I've been trying to get over the idea that there isn't a purge. But yeah, that a lot of people do experience that. And then says, "God damn, you read it in one try." The fuck? Read what? What did I read? Oh, the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious shit. Yeah, yeah. Fandom Geek says, "Y'all were asking for compliment. Y'all were asking for complementative works, hence supercal dope shit." Oh, complementative words. I see. I get it now. I like that. I won't use that on you. Lena says, "I affirm whenever I have thoughts of SP coming up. For the night, I put affirmations tape for SC mostly." Okay, so I'm glad that you're doing self-concept work as well. That's great. Are you affirming a lot? You say throughout the day, and that could mean that you just kind of do it as it comes up throughout the day. But is that a lot? Like, are you affirming non-stop throughout the day? Like 20 times an hour, for example? I'm giving you basically like mind a little coaching here. Jay Dree says, "Fitter, agree, and where are you?" Hang on, what did Jay Fitter say? I'm curious now. Okay. Missy B says, "Aha, was it you, Matt, or Katie that manifested the free meal? Dear X paid for it. Lol, nice one." I mean, one of us must do. Must have. Fitter, thank you very much. That's so kind of you. Fitter says, "Thanks for your answer and your time sharing with us." You're very welcome. You guys, like, obviously, we super duper appreciate it, and it means a hell of a lot to us. But this is a free live stream.
This is like a fun hobby of ours.
Yeah, like we always look forward to
enjoy
this.
doing this.
Thank you so much, Fitter, and obviously, again, thank you so much, dear X, for your donation earlier. But this is a free service. You obviously don't have to do this if you don't want to. We really do appreciate it, but we're here for you guys. This is like our time to give back to you for free. There's more personal than the videos. But we thank you so much.
We actually really like talking to you guys.
Sometimes,
like, whenever the live ends, I'm like, oh, can we just go back on live? Like, it is really nice. It's like, genuinely, I know, like, I pretty much stay quite quiet unless I get overly emotional about something. But I just really enjoy, like, the company. Like, a lot of you are regulars, you come back all the time, and it's so nice to hear from you and hear how you're doing, and, like,
yeah,
it's really nice to speak to you, and it's nice to offer our perspective on things, because I think a lot of the time it's very hard to talk to the people in your real life, particularly about things like this, because a lot of people don't understand, and they don't want to understand either. They don't want to take the time to really understand what you're trying to say and stuff like that. And like, although we might not always be helpful, it is just nice to let people air the things that are not pleasant, or the things that are going well for them. Like, I know what it's like to not have very supportive people around you, and I really like the idea that, and I'm not saying that you guys don't or anything like that, but the idea that one of you is sat there thinking, oh, I really wish I could tell someone about this, and then you can tell us. I really like the fact that we are sort of just here to be like, oh, you know, good job, well done, or whatever it is, whether it's a negative thing or a happy thing. I'd hate the idea that you guys don't have someone to talk to, or someone to share your successes with, or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So originally I created this channel because I had like a manifestation success that I really enjoyed, and I really wanted to just kind of give some ideas for people that like it worked for me, and it was kind of like, here, this worked for me, maybe it could work for you guys, kind of thing. And I definitely did not expect the channel to blow up as well as it has. I did not expect to become what we are now. Obviously, we're still growing every single day. We haven't had a day where we've woken up with less subscribers than what we went to sleep with, which is obviously amazing. And we're still growing every single day. And the fact that we still have people like Matt Schwartz, Dear X, Crimson Music, Abanea, like all of you guys who have been here since the beginning, Anand and people like that. Sybil, I haven't seen Sybil in a little while, but Sybil, Anand, I mean, there's loads. I can think of loads. I'm not going to list everyone, but and we've got all of these people that still continue to show up every single week. And then we have new people now that are like, love your content, like, hate you so beautiful, all of this kind of stuff. Like, it feels just as good for us as it does, I'm assuming, for you guys. And sometimes when we do the streams, I'm like, hopefully they're enjoying it, because obviously all we do is just sit here and talk and have like a chat, and it's like, hopefully they're enjoying it. Hopefully these people will want to come back, and then we have like all the nice compliments about how you love the content, and then we have people such as Fitter and Dear X who donate, and it's like, this is a community that I'm so glad I started up. Obviously, I'm definitely not the first to the Law of Assumption community, and I definitely won't be the last, but I definitely feel like I'm starting to make a print. I'm starting to get to a position where people can come to us and know that even if they're coming to us talking like numpties, like they've said something like either, let's just, for example, say that people have disagreed with my point. I'm not going to sit there kicking and screaming. You can come here and vent disagreements, and that's absolutely fine. And you can come here and vent sadnesses, and that's absolutely fine. The worst you're going to get out of me is a come on, pull your head out of your ass and get back on it sort of thing. But that's only because I care, not because I'm just trying to tell you to shut up because I don't want to hear it. It's because I care that I want you to have the best possible situation. And it means a lot to us that so many people take time out of their Saturdays, or yeah, for somebody Saturday, it might be Sunday morning now, to come and watch us every time. So can't remember how we got onto this tangent, but yeah, we're here for you guys, and we will be. When I drop days at work, I'll be doing earlier streams for the people who can't get to these ones. When I do drop days, I'll do video call coaching again and all that kind of stuff, and there'll be more to offer you guys. We're just doing the best with what we can with the time that we have. And yeah, all of these donations and stuff, they help us out like massively. And then soon, all of the donations that we've been given, we can put towards like paying off debts and stuff like that, and or even buying equipment, like it's like the webcam, for example, to make the videos better, to give back to you guys. Because yes, you donate to us, and technically we can do what we want with it, but the fact is we're here for you lot. So we always try to put it back into ways to make things better, like with the whiteboard, with the webcam, with the ring light, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Oh yeah, Abner says no. What the fuck for the bots? Because yeah, all the porn bots. Fandom Geek. Did I call you Random Geek earlier? I can't remember. Fandom Geek. I'm currently still in school, and being teen, maybe this is limiting belief. Kids talk and gossip. My SP and I are prominent, being in extracurriculars, and people are aware of my circumstances. I see what you mean. There's a tricky situation. Well, it is obviously a circumstance, and circumstances don't matter. If you can look past your 3D reality, if you can let the old reality die and just live for the new one and stay consistent in your mind, knowing that you are with this person and everything is great, you can handle any circumstance. You can look at any circumstance and know that you can move past it. It's just a case of finding a way to help yourself move past it as best you can. Deborah Music says, hi, Matt. I'm a bit confused. Oh, it skipped again. I'm very sad now. Deborah Music says, hi, Matt. I'm a bit confused by the fact that we can manifest an SP, but we can't be manifested by someone else. I mean, isn't it the same process? Yes, but no. So you can manifest an SP because you're the operant power in your reality. In your reality right now, in which you are an operant power and you're listening to me currently, I am an idol in your reality. Or, depending on how you want to look at it, we have just... So let me start from the beginning. I believe in the concept of there are infinite realities that have infinite potentials, infinite possibilities. Right now, you are all operant powers within your reality. You have just hopped over to a reality in which you are watching my live stream, in which I am the operant power. We are just a shared consciousness, involved in the same thing. However, this is my reality, so I am the operant power. In your reality, you will be the operant power. That makes sense. You will not manifest me, this version of me. If you were to manifest me, you would manifest a version of me in a different reality in which I am just a puppet, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Kate, does that make sense?
Yeah, I kind of
Okay,
get
cool.
what you're saying.
So right now.
So if, for example, you and your SP, this might be another question rather than an answer. You and your SP were both trying to manifest each other. You would both, and I think this is right, hop in to a reality where you became together.
Yes.
If this person who's not your SP, who looks like a swan, was trying to manifest you, and you were trying to manifest your SP, you're over here with your SP, they're over there with you, but you're over there.
Yeah. So they can't manifest the version of you in which you are the operant power. Yeah. You cannot be manifested, but you can. So you, as in the one that you are aware of being, cannot be manifested, but in their reality, they can manifest a version of you that exists. Does that make sense? But if you're the operant power, you can't be manifested.
In your reality, they aren't the version of them that wants you.
Yeah, exactly.
They are them. They're just them. They don't want you. In the other reality that they want you in is the one that they can manifest you in.
Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. I do want to do a longer video explaining all of that as best I can with like the whiteboard and stuff, but in order for it to be a successful video, I need to actually make it make sense. And I have a feeling, unfortunately, and this is a limiting belief, and I'm aware of that, it's not a video that's going to do well. So it's very difficult to want to do it. If I get a lot of people saying, yeah, absolutely, explain it in more detail, then by all means. But just throwing that kind of video out there, I don't think it's going to do very well. So I've kind of been holding back for a bit, but I do want to do that video because I want to explain my sort of thoughts on it more. Fandom Geek says he doesn't talk to me and people see me as a lovesick puppy, which I can admit I am, and constantly ask about said circumstance. How would you approach the 3D with constant reminders of no contact? I would approach it the same way that I'd approach anything. Live for me, knowing that it's happening.
First of all, as well, in your head, you are not a lovesick puppy. You are not. Therefore, no one else can see you as a lovesick puppy. Like, just take that bit out. Don't keep thinking about what other people think of you. Tell other people what they think of you.
Yeah. Yeah, and also if you're saying you're a lovesick puppy, that's not a very good personal belief to have, because that almost implies that you're the one that's doing all the chasing and stuff, which is why you're given circumstances in which you're doing all the chasing, if that makes sense. But I would just operate it the way that I would normally live my life like normal, knowing that it's happening, knowing that it's coming. You're right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm reading the comments.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, just live life like normal. Live for you, knowing that they're coming. Like I said, redirect your focus back to already having your specific person and stay true to that, knowing that it's happening, and just let them do what they got to do until they conform. Fandom Geek also said it's just hard to. Oh yeah, no, sorry, we got down to Fitter's lovely donation. Thanks for your answer and your time sharing with us. Absolutely, thank you very much for the donation. Fandom Geek says it's just hard to manifest reuniting the end due to constant people asking and bringing it up. Just ignore them. Just say you don't want to talk about it. Just set the boundary. Walk away. Stop talking to them. You can set 3B boundaries, and that's actually putting self-concept in play, which obviously is putting you first, which means others are going to put you first. When you put the way that you feel first, others will too. Missy B says, then you get that money too, as you said my message out loud. What was your message? Sorry.
I was saying who manifested.
Oh, yeah. Fandom Geek says, and we enjoy your company, Katie and of Matt, of course. Everyone's just against me. I'm like second place compared to you. They're all here for you.
Yeah, they're the best. I understand why.
That's fine. I guess I've got to keep you around.
Unfortunately.
Fandom Geek says, thank you for providing a safe space for life advice and manifestation is so appreciated. You're very much welcome. I want to start implementing more self-improvement stuff as well. Obviously, it's a law of assumption channel, but there's a lot that you can learn from people that don't believe in law of assumption, that believe in mindset stuff, because they're people that aren't living from the end and still getting what they want, because they're just showing the difference that improving the way that you view yourself actually makes a difference. But yeah, so I definitely do want to do more of that. Lena says, no, it might be like 10 to 15 minutes per day. I would get a thought popping up, love once or twice an hour, and would try to replace it with something more positive. Okay, so you don't think of it too much. It's not like you're overly attached. Okay, so the final thing that I'm going to ask, are you genuinely feeling into this? These thoughts, these assumptions, these affirmations, are you really feeling them to be real? Are you really feeling them to be your existence now? Are you thinking of them like a memory that's in the future? Kind of. That makes sense. Just trying to get to the bedrock so I can help you as best as I possibly can. And Android says, yeah, thank you so much for that. You're welcome. Dev says, thank you. You're welcome. Fandom Geek says, Katie and Matt. Oh, it keeps jumping. It's getting very annoying. Fandom Geek says, Katie and Matt, thank you for those kind words. Truly, it's nice. This is only my second stream, and I feel like I have a second home just for manifesting in life overall. Of course, we come back. It's so kind. Oh, well, thank you very much for the kind words, and I'm glad that you enjoy it. Dear X says, exchanging my energy of appreciation for you guys. I'm grateful for your channel. Well, thank you very much, and we're obviously grateful for your support. You've been here pretty much like near on since the beginning, so thank you for the consistent and constant support. We both really appreciate it. Lena says, and yeah, it's hard talking to my friends about the situation since they be supportive and tell me he is an arsehole. Let's talk shit about him. Well, you don't have to engage in that. You are your own person. You are the operant power. You can just literally sit there and say, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to set boundaries now. don't want to talk about it, don't want to know anything, just leave me alone, basically. Dev says, I don't work Saturday. That's good to hear. Lucky you, I suppose. A lot of people do, and I feel for them. Katie's works Saturday sometimes. Fandom Geek says,
Fourth Saturday.
yes.
Yep.
Fandom Geek says, is there a live schedule per SE, or is it whenever you have time when you get vacation days from work? So the lives are always on a, well, sorry, we try to make the lives every Saturday at 8 p.m. If we can't do it on a Saturday, 8 p.m. UK time. If we can't do it on a Saturday, then we'll put a community post up saying that it'll either be on the Sunday, or if we can't do it on the Sunday either, then we won't do it at all. But we'll let you guys know.
I think we've only really skipped one.
Yeah, I think we've only done 1 week. Yeah. But
we normally do manage to fit one in.
Yeah, last week was weird because I posted the thing, but a lot of people didn't get a notification, but we were still live on the Saturday, or I was still live on the Saturday. But yeah, it's usually every Saturday, 8 p.m. UK time. Dev says, I love spending my Saturday with you guys. Well, we really appreciate that. Thank you very much. We love having you here. And Anne says, wait, what? You work, Dev? And then Dev says, yep, I got a job yesterday. And Anne says, that's pretty cool. Congrats, dude. Yeah, well done. I remember you telling me in the comments. So congratulations for getting the job, buddy. Fandom Geek says, I've heard it said that like realities are like bubbles. They touch but never bypass that soapy film. Was this a bit like your analogy? I don't know, lol, but it gives me confidence someone is manifesting me. Yeah, so I believe that, yeah, basically, these are all bubbles and bubble. And you kind of just go from here where you don't have your person to this one where you do. You're not changing. This is why I say never to change the version you have, because you're not trying to, you can't change your reality as in the one that you're occupying now. You just occupy a new one in which what you want was already coming into play, if that makes sense. That's why it's fruitless to change what you're seeing, because you can't change that reality. You're leaving behind that reality. So if Katie and I broke up right now and I manifested her back, I would be leaving behind the reality in which we were broken up to operate in a reality in which we are together or getting back together, if that makes sense. I'm not changing the current reality that I'm in. That reality would still continue to play out the way that it does, if that makes sense, in which I am the operant power of that reality in which I don't want Katie back, or Katie and I don't get back together, if that makes sense. Sorry. Marie says, thank you for the live. I was a bad partner for my ISP and we broke up. I'm trying to manifest him, but the shame doesn't let me believe my affirmations. Do I have to take action first and apologize? No, because I would recommend apologizing when everything goes right. If you feel the need to apologize, then I wouldn't reach out. I think, and again, this actually is in the video that goes live Monday. I really recommend you guys watching it. I think it's actually a really well done video. The atmosphere is different. The content's slightly different. I think it's a really good video and I'm really excited for you guys to see it. But in that video, I basically say that you got to let them have the chance to miss you. You got to let them have the chance to wonder what you're doing, what's going on. You might have done wrong and an apology might be justified, but you reaching out to apologize, it's not worth it. Forgive yourself. Let them forgive you, as in like internally feel as though they've forgiven you. And then when you reconcile, then you can apologize. Because if you reach out now trying to apologize, trying to reach out, trying to make things happen, you're not going to be coming from the right place. And and I know this might sound like mean per se, but if you're reaching out and apologizing, you're putting them above you. You're basically saying that like, I need to do this in order to receive you, which from a 3D conscious mind standpoint, it makes sense. You hurt someone, you've got to apologize. But the subconscious mind just sees that as you being the one to reach out. You're not good enough. You can't get them unless you do this. It's all coming from lack. I would recommend apologizing when everything is worked out. As for your situation right now, practice forgiveness, practice gratitude, practice letting go. Let go of the old story. Again, like I said, we're not trying to change the reality that you're in. We're trying to occupy a new one in which you are experiencing what you want to experience. So let it go. Let it all die. And just occupy the new one. Phantom Geek says, makes me feel chosen and like a priority. You all are. You're all our good friends. We all show up for you guys. And yeah. Missy B says, yeah, please explain that in more detail, Matt. I think that'll be a hit with many of us. All right, I'll definitely add it to the list then if I get a few more. I was going to do it at some point anyway. I've just been kind of putting it off for a bit. Venom Geek says, I'm such a hypocrite for asking questions and then telling you to stop and eat. So sorry, but it's fun being here and conversing. I mean, food's not here yet. Probably will wrap it up in about 5 minutes, even if the food's not here, just because my throat is getting really dry from 2 hours of talking. But
2
yeah,
hours and 10 minutes.
yeah. Abaneo says,
Must be our longest.
it is. That's our longest stream so far. Yeah. On I was thinking, so we're almost at 3K subscribers, and I was thinking that what we could do for it is a 3-hour stream, and we'll start earlier so that people that are in Abaneo's time zone might be able to show up. So maybe we'll start at like 5 or 6 or something, and obviously if it's 3 hours for 3K, then we'll be done by sort of like,
If we plan it for like a good weekend.
yeah, then it'll be like we'll end at like 8 or 9 sort of thing. So it'll be a 3-hour stream for warranting 3,000 subscribers. And I was thinking I might do.
Are you going to do that with every K?
Could you imagine? Just 24-hour stream when we hit 24K. But yeah, so it's going to be a 3-hour stream. Obviously, I'll let you guys know when it's going live. We'll try and implement it at a time zone that works for people that are in Abaneo's time zone and Anand's time zone, and like obviously the US time zone. And I was thinking that I might do some sort of challenge or some sort of like game where it's like, I don't know, the first 3 people to get like a week's free coaching or 30%, just something interesting, just to sort of say thank you for all the support to get us to 3K. Still working out the logistics. I've got like 300 and something subscribers to figure it out with. So I've got probably about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks to figure it all out. But yeah, so that's what we're thinking. Let me know if you've got any ideas on what I could do. Let me know, and I'm open for suggestions. Abanez says 2 a.m. right here. Go sleep. You bullied me enough. Now go sleep.
2:30 a.m.
That's what I said, didn't I?
You said 2 a.m.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I'm dumb. Remember. Marco says, "Hey, I felt like I took inspired action and reached out to my SP. Things went great. He came over after months of us not seeing each other. We were still in contact every now and then. He told me that he's in a current relationship and he doesn't want to be with that person. He moved in with him and he isn't happy. He wants to work things out with me. He actually asked me to move in with me. Communication was okay, but became hot and cold." Okay, so I mean, I'm glad the inspired action was actually inspired action. A lot of the time people convince themselves that it's inspired just because they're in I need to hear what's going on. So congratulations for actually having inspired action. Oh, you wrote more. So I'm a bit confused on how I should proceed. Last thing was he texted me, "Good morning, handsome." I responded, "Good morning, love," and haven't heard from him since. This is actually my 3rd time talking about it, and I don't want to keep reaffirming it, but just to give an explanation, what should I do? So it's very tricky, obviously not being there. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you're in a stream, so I'm just going to repeat it again now. A lot of the time when people get people back or signs of people coming back, they fall back into the old patterns of thinking. They fall back into the what ifs they leave, what if this, what if that, and their old self-concept can take over. Because a lot of time we do so much work to get the person back, and then the self-concept just kind of takes back over if we haven't worked on it. Look back at the situation and ask yourself and be honest, were you thinking wrong when they came back? When you started getting signs, were you doubting? Were you fearing? Were you questioning? Were you kind of being a bit funny? And is your self-concept in a place where you'd want it to be? Ask yourself those questions first. And if the answer is yes, then if the answer is no, like your self-concept was great and you weren't thinking it and you're like genuinely being honest, then I would just recommend you continuing to work on the end result. It's just a circumstance that doesn't matter. And it can be changed. It can be worked. You can hop realities. Don't let it be too much of a hard time. And all I would recommend you doing is to just work on self-concept and continue living from the end. Feel it real. Enjoy the emotions that come with the fulfillment of the desire and just continue going. Is there a message you're waiting for me to see? You've looked at your phone now. You keep looking at me.
No, it's good.
Okay. Abner says, "Katie is the sweetest. I want to cup her face with my palms and also pat her." Okay, so I'll do it for you. And then there you go. Lena says, "I don't really feel them, but hoping maybe one time I will believe them more. Some coaches say we need to repeat the set affirmation, the assumptions in place." Oh, my throat's
Are you
getting
getting really coffee? I'm getting really coffee.
That's because my throat's getting really like dry. Yeah.
How will we survive a 3-hour stream? We got to the 2-hour mark and we're both like, ugh.
We'll have to just get loads of fluid, obviously hopefully we both won't be ill. We won't be ill then as well, because we are both currently ill. But yeah, so okay, so yeah, your thoughts create. The ones that you assign meaning to, the ones that you assign power to, those are the ones that create. If you're just blindly affirming and stuff and not really feeling into it, less likely to impress. They say to sort of affirm more to set the assumption in place, because it takes the right impression. It takes an affirmation or a script or a visualization that you feel to be true, or at least feel to be impressionable, that impresses and then gets pushed out. This is why I say your affirmations with conviction, because then it makes it feel easier to feel into them, to feel them to be true. So if you're just affirming like, I am in a loving relationship, and then moving on, might not work, because you're not really feeling into it. You're not assigning that reality to be your current one. You're just kind of blindly saying anything, because when you think about it, people make jokes all the time about how they do certain things, or like, stupid example, but people say things all the time that don't happen, because they're not saying them with any conviction. They're not saying them in a way that they assume to be true. You need to at least impress your mind by feeling it real, by assigning the meaning that it is true to you, as in you actually feel like it in that moment. Doesn't have to be forever, but in that moment you are what you say you are. Did you have something to say? It looked like you were going to talk.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, like, it may be, and I don't know, but it may be that you're sort of like rushing through them, if that makes sense. Like, I love him, he loves me, we're together, we're this, we're that. It might actually be worth sitting down and kind of like creating reasons for each of those things. So, like, for example, we are in a, like a loving relationship. In however long he's going to come home, I'm going to see him, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're, like, stand there and actually just like create some scenarios that support each thing. It might be a way that you can then start to really sort of feel it. Like I said earlier in the stream, I like writing things down, scripting a lot more. It seems to work. Like, honestly, anything I write down just happens literally that day. So like, yeah, I feel like just affirmations do work for some people, but it might be that just being like, we love each other, we're together, we're this, we're that, you're not supporting those statements with a scenario. Whereas you might find it works better, and you might find it actually makes you feel better as well to support each statement with a scenario. Like, you know how some people have to like see it to believe it, and that sort of thing. It might be beneficial to you to actually sit there and almost write your story, like, or not necessarily write it, but just think about your story. Like, if you two were loving each other, he would send you a text to say, how is your day going? And you can sit there and just think about those things as well. Like, or he might, I don't know, I can't think of examples, but you know what I mean? Like, create scenarios that match the statements that you're affirming.
Anything to help you feel as though it is happening. Basically, like, Katie's got some great ideas then. Yeah, whatever will help you feel it to be true. If we could stop any comments now, unless you have like a burning desire, or unless you're answering something that I've asked you to answer, just because my throat is getting really dry and sore, and like food should be here any minute now, and I don't want to miss out any comments. If you do have something that you want to say and I haven't answered, then just put it in the comment section of this video after it's gone live.
I feel like they're not coming with the food.
It feels like it, doesn't it? Yeah. Cappadocian. I lost my interest to SP while improving myself mentally, such as I'm the best boyfriend affirmations. I say to myself, I don't need her. I don't care if it's manifested or not, and I don't want her anymore. Plus, I feel I deserve more than my SP and too handsome for her. Yeah, so that's actually quite a common thing that does happen. When people start to improve themselves, they no longer accept or desire the old crap. So if you have a person that was like, let's just say a 5 out of 10 partner, because you also feel like a 5 out of 10 person, when you start to feel like a 7 out of 10, you're like, hang on, I don't really want that 5 out of 10 now. I want that 7 out of 10. And then you go for someone that makes you feel better. You go for someone that makes you feel more loved. You go for a 7 out of 10 because that's now what your new level is. So there's quite a common thing, and like 100%, like if that's how things work, then go for it. Just because you started your journey, because this has happened with a couple of my clients, or quite a few of my clients, they start their journey going, I want this specific person. Then they work on self-concept work. Then they work on living in the end of having like love and yada, yada, yada. Then someone else comes along and they're like, oh, hang on a minute. This person's immediately come to me, basically giving me all the love under the sun, everything I've been affirming. There's no old story for this person. So I haven't got anything that I've got to constantly try to let go of. Then they go with them and they're happy as can be. It's okay to let go of your person. If you're manifesting and someone better comes along, or if you feel like they're not worth anymore, that's okay. You don't have to continue going. This is your life. By all means, go for what you want to do. Black Lily says, hello, sorry I'm late. Howdy, Black Lily, but unfortunately we're about to end in a minute, so sorry that you're late, I guess. But we'll be live next Saturday. Nadine McGregor says, would you suggest just focusing on what you want only with your SP rather than the law of assumption tools and things that can be overwhelming and gets me overthinking a lot? Yeah, so I've given the fundamentals, other coaches have given the fundamentals. And if we're going back to the fundamentals, get clear on what you want, create scenes that imply that it's real and exists in your reality now, redirect your focus back to that, feel it real, feel the emotions, feel whatever, and continue to dwell in that state until your manifestation comes in. That's all that you need to do. You don't need to watch another one of my videos, Joe Dispenza's video, Kim Velez's video. That is the basic fundamentals. That's all you have to do with your specific person. Work on self-concept and create those scenes in your mind, feel into them, feel the emotions, feel the thoughts, think the thoughts, feel the feelings, dwell in that until it comes in. You haven't got to go with all the law of assumption tools of the 369 method or like inner conversations. If you don't like inner conversations, you haven't got to do all of this. Just do what works for you and stick to it. Fandom Geek says, is this 3-hour stream intended to be the next one or just whenever you'll find the time? So what will happen is once we hit 3K subscribers, we have weekends that are better for us. So the 3-hour stream will be on a weekend that is ideal. So we can actually properly set the time aside and really be there for you guys. There's no point trying to do a 3-hour stream when we got one kid doing one thing, Katie's got to go on the phone call somewhere or something, but it will be very quickly after the 3K. It might not be the next stream, but it will be hopefully the one after. It all just depends on when the 3K falls onto it. Missy B says, defo celebrate the 3K subscribers like that. Loved this live and laughed a few times. Katie and the Swan earlier was a real lol moment. The Swan. What did you do with the Swan?
When your SP is in different reality to you.
What was the Swan? I'm all confused.
I did the Swan with my arm because I was like, this is the person that wants you over here.
Oh, I see. I'm oblivious to everything. Glad you enjoyed it, though. I'm glad you've enjoyed this live. It's quite a long one, so I'm glad that so many people are still sticking around. Marie says, oh my God, you're amazing. I feel so safe with your guidance. Thank you. I love the fact that you're sure my ex and I, we will be together. I will try to change my self-talk as well. Absolutely. Everything can be is created by you. The way that you talk to yourself and the way that you assume things to be true. Change the way that you talk to yourself. Change the way that you assume things to be. Things will change. Dedicate
your person, not your ex.
Yeah, say your person, not your ex. Thank you for picking that up. Dedicate yourself to it.
They're already your person.
They are indeed. Marcus.
You wouldn't call your person your ex.
Marcus says, I will agree. That's when he said that I was doubting only because of what past. I'm human, so what I experienced before is just overwhelming with good feelings he is really going to move in, but you're absolutely right. Yeah, so there you go. I'm glad you come to the realization of that. And now you know that going forward, what not to do and what to do better. Just stay true to the end result. Stay knowing that you're worthy of it. And when it comes into play again, when that hot behavior comes in, just know that that's all for you. And all you got to do is just accept it. You haven't got to worry. You haven't got to panic. Just accept it. Fandom Geek says, come 2-3 weeks later, I'll come back proving I'm chosen. Works by telling the news of me being the lead in the school play. Absolutely. I believe in you. I know you're going to get it. Amy says, hey, can you talk about what your SP felt and thought when you were manifesting her? I suppose it's more for you, really. That's a quick, I can't.
I have spoke about it before, I think on
one of our earlier ones, like the 4th or 5th stream.
Yeah, maybe a couple of the streams. But so I on the day that like it happened, basically I just woke up knowing what I had to do. That's like the basic of it. Like I woke up and I was like, right, that's it, that's what I'm doing. And yeah, so I drove over to his house and he wasn't in. And then I phoned him, and yeah, it's hard to explain because it wasn't necessarily like I had like feelings as such. I just knew what I had to do, and that was what I did basically. It was like, I guess, a pull. Is the best way to describe it. Yeah, sorry, I'm starting to feel really like hot and ill now.
It is getting really hot in here.
But yeah, I have explained it better before on another live, but yeah, essentially what it was is like I was just going about my normal day, had to do like the school run, everything like that, and like I just knew what I had to do, and I did it basically.
It was a cool Tuesday. Fandom Geek says, enjoy your dinner and take care. Thank you for everything. You're very welcome, and we will enjoy it when it shows up, whenever that is. It's late currently. Yeah, I'm going to have to phone. Ugh. Missy B says, bye, you two. Thanks for real tonight. Enjoy your dinner. We will. Thank you very much for showing up. Right, that is the last of the comments. So just starting off, Fitter and Dear X, thank you so much for the lovely donations. We really appreciate them. Again, this is obviously a free thing, but we are so grateful for everyone that does donate, and thank you very much for such big amounts as well. It really means a hell of a lot to us.
I'm super grateful for everyone that
yeah, and the people that like show up and doesn't donate, obviously you mean just as much. We just got to say the special thanks. But we appreciate every single person that shows up to these live streams, whether you're a newbie or whether you're someone that shows up consistently.
We love hearing about your lives.
Yes. So thank you very much, everyone, for showing up. Please watch the video on Monday, because not so much, I don't really like mind the whole like revenue view side, but I wanted you to tell me whether or not you liked the atmosphere of the video, because I tried something slightly different. I went back to sort of more roots of the channel. So let me know. Watch that on Monday. If you're a member, or if you're interested in being a member, I've literally just posted a half-an-hour video of me doing a self-improvement exercise on my own life, where I actually take my own things going on in my life and do a self-improvement exercise on that to improve them. If you're interested in watching that, become a member, and that's on the members only section of the channel. If you're in need of any of my help whatsoever, check the website. I've got email coaching there. And I will be implementing video call coaching once I drop days at my work. So if you're interested in video call coaching, hopefully that won't be too long. With all that said, thanks everyone for showing up to this live stream, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.